Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is part 1 of our story. If you like this what if story and want to see part 2, let me know in the comments below. Before we start, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Also, check the description for more great content and my playlist. This story was posted by FireLord 2020 on Wattpad. Now let's start. Izuku's POV, shush honey, everything is going to be fine. It's only a bad dream, you will be fine. Those are the words that pulled me out of my nightmare. There you go honey, you are safe here. Can you tell me what you were dreaming about, sweetie? As I start crying, I rushed into a hug with the green-haired lady. Mum, I had a dream that I was quirkless, and that everyone started hitting me and calling me names. And that you stopped love dash, is all I could say before succumbing to a wave of pure tears. It's okay, it's all okay, honey. She tries to soothe me, right before pulling me off and making me look her straight in the eyes. Look at me. No matter if you are born quirkless, my love for you will never change. Not when you were born. Not now. And certainly not forever. You hear me, sweetie? All I can do is nod smiling, while tears continue to pour down my face. Good. Now come out, breakfast is ready, you can take a shower and brush your teeth after. We are going to the quirk doctor today. After eating, cleaning and driving not by me crying face, we waited for the quirk doctor to call for us. A woman with dark brown hair and tanned white skin comes walking out and called out, "Can Midoriya family please come follow me?" Mum held my hand and guided me to where the lady is taking us. When we sat down in a white room with random bits and bobs around it, with my eyes focusing on posters and diagrams of the human, Mum first spoke. Sorry if this might seem rude, however thought that Dr. Q was supposed to be here today and who are you? Slightly confused of this scenario. Oh, sorry, I'm Dr. Shepard. As for why Dr. Q isn't here, it's because one of his major patients is in a critical condition and is required to be there. She answered. I'm clearly not understanding what is going on. That's unfortunate to hear. Mum said, allowing a few seconds to pass. Anyway, we are here to figure out what Izuku's quirk might be. Trying to direct the conversation to something less saddening in their eyes. Yes, Izuku is it? Can you please hand me your hand? I comply, as she reaches out with her own. My quirk is called Scan. It allows me to gain information on the targeted object that I am touching at that time. From what I can tell, is that you will get a quirk based off the fused joint on your pinky toe. Miss Midoriya, can you please inform me of what yours and his father's quirks? She requested, while I'm still in shock that I will be getting a quirk. Well, my quirk is lustful telekinesis. I'm able to convert pleasure into energy that then I can store or use in the form of moving, manipulating objects and stopping myself from getting 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐵. Mum answered while rubbing my fluffy head, knowing that I have no clue what lustful or pleasure means. His father, on the other hand, stated that his quirk was fire breathing. However, I think he wasn't telling the complete truth about it. Deciding not to push, the doctor continued. Well, hopefully your son's quirk is based on your quirk rather than his father. Seeing how it is a sec quirk, then most likely it will manifest during PBRY. With this causing a sigh from my mum. Mum, what's wrong? Also, what does lustful, pleasure, and he mean? I asked, curious of what all this mean. I will tell you when either your quirk appears or when you hit. Until then please don't use those words in public or around people. While moving hand to me and sticking out her pinky finger. Pinky promise. After a few seconds, I moved my hand and grappled her pinky with my own. Pinky promise. With an excited look on my face. Well now, if that is all then. As the doctor grabs a card and starts writing a few numbers. This is my number if he shows any sign of a quirk, and I understand issues relating to SEC quirks. I'm a licensed SEC therapist, so please if there is any issue contact me. With a smile on her face. SEC must be important if people need therapy for it. I thought, thank you, however there is something you are not telling me. What is it, and why are you so friendly? Mum said while the doctor slightly blushes. I'm a fan of your work, that's why. As she tries to squirm out of this conversation, causing my mum to smirk. There is a reason why I put my personal number on that card. With her face turning a darker red. If that is all. Mum stood up and guided us out of the door, then turned her head at the door. Make sure you keep your phone on you at all times. Gave a wink before walking out. Maybe what they are doing is related to those words Mum promised me not to say. I concluded as I continued to wrap my head around it, only to be broken out of my stupor by Mum. Izuku, do you want 𝐀𝐮𝐻𝐿 for dinner? She asked. Yes. Is all I can answer, before jumping around in excitement. Whatever it is, I'll just wait till Mum tells me about it. Izuku's POV, I'm 5 years old now. 𝐾𝐮𝐻𝐿. Stop it. Can't you tell you're hurting him? I screamed at the blonde boy, while using my body to shield the other bullied boy. A smirk formed on the blonde's face, smashing his hands together with an explosion. What are you going to do without a quirk, Deku? Then him and his goons charged at me, leaving me on my back as they beat me up. A few months later. Hey, did you hear that kid over there won't manifest a quirk until PBRTY? One of the kids in elementary school said. Yeah, I did. I bet that it was a lie. Another said. Why is that? The first one asked. To hide the fact that he is quirkless, obviously. The second one answered. How sad. 3 years passed. Hey look, it's the sloth's child. 𝐾𝐮𝐻𝐿 said. It looks like useless slot runs in the family. Everyone that heard laughed with him, including the teacher partially. No. Katsuki, never talk about my mum like that. She is a caring and loving mother, something you clearly can never felt or understand. I yelled out, causing everyone to quiet down. What did you say, DKU? Katsuki screamed, launching himself at me, then throwing one of his largest explosions at me. I barely remember the ambulance ride to the hospital, only knowing that there is a large scar formed from the cheek to the pecs on my left side. And the school chalked the incident as an accident, which caused my mum to hire a private teacher to homeschool me until junior high school. 5 months have passed. Today is my 9th birthday. It starts like every normal day. Bathroom, breakfast tasting slightly plainer today, school lessons, researching on heroes and on the human anatomy. 3 years ago, I found out that youth hero, recovery girl was All Might's doctor. This fueled my fascination of the human anatomy, and guided by Dr. Shepard, who visited once in a while. I can easily challenge most doctors in the understanding of the human body, wanting to become a hero that is similar to Recovery Girl and when needed, a hero like All Might. When I finished my research, turning my head to the clock. Man, no wonder I feel so hungry. I completely skipped lunch. I stood up and started to stretch my body. Mum will be back in a few minutes. Maybe I can quickly eat my lunch in the fridge before she finds out. Hastily, I walked to the kitchen, grabbing my lunch and scuffing it down. Why is my food so tasteless? And why am I still hungry? Picking up the dirty dish, started to move it to the kitchen sink, only to drop onto the ground as pain courses through my body. Unable to make even a slight sound, I lay on the ground, which felt like years, until the sounds of a rustling door, footsteps rushing towards me, and a voice call out for me. Izuku, sweetie, are you okay? Please answer me. Please do something, anything. She places her hand onto my chest. Energy floods into me, overwhelming my mind as pure lust takes full control. I launched on top of her, single-handedly pinning both her arms above her head and legs underneath me. Izuku, stop this now. This isn't like you. Please stop, as a pillow from the lounge starts floating up, only to fall straight back down. With my other hand, I rip her button-up silk shirt, leaving a black-laced BR. I start moving my lips down her neck, nibbling while my hand goes underneath the BR and starts massaging her B. Izuku, please stop. She begged, causing me to look up. I see Mum with tears flowing down her eyes. Please come your senses, Izuku. After a few seconds, I regain my senses and more importantly realization of what I did. I got up and quickly ran to my room and locked the door. Barely hearing my name being called, I can't believe I did that to my own mother. She must hate me because of it. Why did I do? Why? Is all I can think of as I crawled in my bed. 𝐮𝐭𝐲𝐫𝐭 POV. Izuku, wait. is all I can say before he slammed the door, and the sound of his door locking. You completely drained me. After picking herself up, she moved and closed the front door, locking it and taking off her heels. Walking over to the mess on the floor. So, he forgot to have lunch. Finishing to clean the floor, I barely used my quirk to bring my phone. After scrolling through my contacts, I stop at 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐻𝐸 and click on it. After the third ring, she answered. Hey 𝐮𝐭, do you need to pick me up? Yes, but no. Izuku's quirk has manifested. Do you think you can come over? I asked while walking to my room to get ready for a shower. Yeah, sure. I'll be there as soon as I can be. Thankful for that answer she gave. Thank you. Anyway, I'm hoping in the shower now, so you need to wait outside for a bit. I replied. See you till then, bye. Bye. We both hanged up and I hooked my phone to the charger. I walk over to Izuku's room and knock on the door. Izuku, I'm hoping into the now, and Dr. Shepherd is coming over to diagnose your quirk. Waiting for a few seconds, I slightly hear. Oh, okay. Returned back to me. I took a deep breath in and headed into the bathroom. After finishing taking a shower, I heard the doorbell ring. Quickly I wrapped a towel around me and walked over, checking the peephole before opening the door for Shepherd to enter. Perfect timing. I said, you and me both. Looking me up and down, then quickly shaking her head. Can take me to Izuku. Please follow me and close the door. As I walk over to Izuku's room, I redo while still covering my body. Here is Izuku's room, and I'm going to quickly go and get changed. As I enter back into my room. Also, I know you wanted me guide you so that you can look at me almost naked. Walking out of my room in casual wear and into Izuku's room. Shepherd is seating on Izuku's desk chair and a boy with dark green hair, 2 black horns and a long thin black tail with a spade-shaped tip at the end, which I know is Izuku seating curled up on his bed. I walked over and took a seat next to my son, which caused him flinch, saddening me. So, 𝐮𝐭, do you wish to know what Izuku's quirk is? Shepherd asked. First tell me the reason why Izuku attacked me. This led to Izuku tighten himself into the curl. Wanting to question what had happened before she arrived, assuming the possible answer, she said. His body now needs the energy produced by pleasure to survive, with normal food sources only delaying his hunger. However, he cannot produce this energy from pleasuring himself but only to others. As well, he needed the energy for the quirk to finish stabilizing within him. So, that means he had no control over what happened. I asked, clearly directing it towards Izuku. Correct. Shepherd answered swiftly. Then stop putting yourself down when you had no control over it, sweetie. I said to Izuku, moving my hands to comfort him. Surprisingly, Izuku slapped my hands away with tears flooding down his eyes. Why are you trying to comfort me? I was tried to RPE you. Why do you still love dash? I cut off Izuku's screaming with a slap. Because I am your mother. Do you not remember the promise I made to you before we went to the doctors? I promised that I will love no matter what. And I'm not changing my mind on something you had no control over. I firmly announced before pulling him into a deep hug. Izuku's POV, I can't believe it. She forgave me. After all I did that to her. Is all I can think while deep in the hug. Now don't you dare forget again. I will love no matter what. Reassuring me as she slowly pulls away. Now that's all said and done, Shepherd, can you please tell me the more finer details of Izuku's quirk? Returning us back to the subject. Well, for starters, we do not have a name for his quirk just yet. However, it is able to modify any and all organic material that touches him. Able to fuse his SPRM to a target long-range control and to build up energy. Able to see someone's/something's medical health by looking at a person. Able to temporarily transform his to any humanoid for a cost of more energy drain. His new base form gives peak human senses, reaction times, flexibility and strength that can be boosted for an increased cost of energy drain. The downsides is that he needs to have the medical knowledge of that organism. Is unable to pleasure himself to recharge, only by converting the pleasure and SXL frustration of others. Lastly, normal foods will not sustain him, only delay the main food source from running out. Shepherd explained, completely dumbfounding both Mum and myself. If there is any other capability your quirk has that relates to the combination of your quirks, please let me know so I can enter it into quirk registration. Well, Mum spoke up. Well, he can absorb the energy that I created with my quirk, and most likely vice versa. I was completely full of energy before the incident, meaning that I can transfer energy to him until he can find a different source of energy. 𝐶𝐻 furiously writing down on a form. Now that all the information about the quirk is complete, we just need to give it a name. I'm thinking as similar to lustful telekinesis, like lustful modification, on paper, but when speaking with people you can just use the second part. I nodded in agreement, which caused her to smile. Good, tomorrow you will officially be known as a one of the 80%. Any questions? After a few seconds, I said, massage therapy. Realizing I did, I continued to explain my thinking to the confused older ladies. Massages are known to relieve stress and can cause a type of pleasure, meaning that it can be a source of energy, especially if I practice on your fellow porn stars, causing a smile on both of their faces. Plus, why do I still have this scar if I can change my body? I presume that is because you subconsciously want to keep. 𝐶𝐻 answered. Probably as a reminder. Okay. Kind of saddened by that answer. Oh, I almost forgot. Happy birthday, Izuku. 𝐶𝐻 said in a cheerful tone. As the years go by, 2 major laws have been passed for SEC-based quirks that was pushed by the Hero Commission. One is that CC therapists are able to work with children at the age 13 or older, if they have guardian permission, the use of protection, and that they cannot record said sessions. Lastly, the other law is to allow the FRNCTN between children, 13 to 14 and 15 to I managed to become a licensed massage therapist on my 13th birthday and being hired porn stars after shoots. Using that money to join multiple dojos and combat-based classes, to gain fighting experience instead of training my body because it would be literally a waste of time. Too bad that I had to return to school, more importantly junior high school. Aldra Junior High School principal had been told and accepted to keep my quirk a secret from the students, on the basis of bullying for my type of quirk. As well knowing that with my test scores and having university degrees for being a massage therapist, will massively boost the school's ranking. That's all well and going, however not trying to stop the bullying for being quirkless, with the main contender being Katsuki, not dissevering my childhood name for him. At least it wasn't as bad as it could have been, with most people in the school trying to F each other after the new law. Okay, students. Now that you're in your last year here, it's time to take these career aptitude tests. The homeroom teacher said, while holding a stack of papers only for him to throw them into the air. Who am I kidding? I know you all want to be heroes. As everyone starts using their quirks in class except myself and 𝐒𝐿𝐲. Now, you all have lovely quirks, but you know quirk use is illegal. Hey, don't lump me in all these losers teach. Katsuki said with his feet up onto the desk. These guys would be lucky to just be sidekicks to a D-list hero. Causing a huge uproar, with some of the classmates to challenge. I'll take you all on. He'll back. No he can't. I thought. Yeah yes, 𝐒𝐿𝐲. Didn't you apply for UA? The teacher said, which led to whispers spreading across the class. Doesn't UA have a 0.2 accept ion rate? Yeah, and that's the only place I belong. I aced all the mock tests. I'm the only one in this shitty school that can get in. He's not. I'll become the richest hero of all time. And it all starts at UA High. Katsuki finished his speech. Fun fact, Recovery Girl is the richest hero, due to her being both a doctor and hero. People pay top dollar just for a single session with her. Midoriya, aren't you apply for UA as well? The teacher calling me out. After a few seconds, the entire class erupted in laughter at my expense. How the hell would he get in? He doesn't even have a quirk, he'll just die in the entrance exam. Can he even afford to go there? He can't even afford proper fitting uniform, As Katsuki explodes my desk. Do you think they would choose you over someone like me, Deku? He yelled. I give a look at the teacher, which caused him to slightly sweat. 𝐒𝐿𝐲 Katsuki, return to your desk now. You know quirk use at school is illegal. He commanded, leaving Katsuki to make a teeth sound as he returns to his desk. The day continued as normal after that, until the end of class as I packing up my stuff. What do we have here? Katsuki said, taking my notebook and looking through it. Literally, what the hell is this? Slight confusion forming in his voice. Oh, nothing much. Just the groundwork for manipulating the common cold virus into a quirk-destroying disease. I said coldly, which led to the 3 bullies to freeze. In that time, I grabbed my book and started to walk away. Nice having a chat with you guys. I ran out of school, deciding to take a shorter path home. When walking under a bridge, I was lost in my own head to the point I didn't even realize a sludge villain. Hey, you will be a good vessel for me. As the sludge wrap around me. Come on, I need your body. I didn't know he will be in town. As I try and fight against a fruitless battle against him, my mind wondered. Oh no, I can't keep this up. I can barely even think. My mind is going blank from all the pleasure coming off of him, and why is this guy's full of SXL frustration? My body slowly fading into consciousness. Is that a guy at the end of the tunnel? Light starts to get brighter as I open my eyes, feeling a rapid tap a badly injured man. Looking straight at the person. All Might. Good, I thought we lost you there. All Might said, puffing up his chest. As I search for my notebook and pen. Mr. All Might, sir. Can you please, oh my god. You already signed it. From my second favorite hero, no less. Practically jumping with joy. Well, that's good to hear. Wait, did you second favorite? He questioned. Yeah, right after Recovery Girl. I said proudly. Oh, now I need to be off to hand this villain in to the police. As he tries to wrap his head around how he is second best to Recovery Girl, when just saved my life. Okay, All Might. Please be careful. I said as he jumps away, then checking the time. I have a few hours to spare. As I make my way to the shopping district. A few minutes later, I hear explosions coming near a shop I like to go to. After passing the crowd, I see the same sludge villain surrounded by burning shopping stalls. The heroes are doing nothing in fear of the hostage being killed, and quickly realizing that it is Katsuki. Of course it is him, why wouldn't it be him? He making the scenario 1,000 times worse using his quirk, and he is getting bigger. Wait, no, I'm running towards him. Welp, no time to hold back now. As I run straight at the villain, barely hearing the shouts of the heroes. Rapidly I threw my bag at his eye, stunning him long enough to enter my true form. Ripping out Katsuki out of the sludge, and move my other hand into it. A pulse of pinkish-green energy flows through him, changing his form to a normal man. A normal naked man. Completely shocking everyone who was watching. My secret is out. Izuku's POV. My secret is out. Leaving everyone speechless, including Katsuki as he thinks to himself. If Deku can do that to people, could he do that with bacteria? The common cold bioweapon he created in his notebook, he can unleash it at any time. Panic flooded across his face. What did you do to me? The former sledge villain practically yelling at me. Simple, seeing how your quirk was a mutation-based quirk. I altered it so that it is a transformation type, and formed the best version of yourself if you didn't have that quirk. Mind that you need to learn how move and walk again. I said, as the only sound is the fire crackling within the shopping stalls. Thank you so much. As tears flowed down his face, while the police cuffed and dragged him a police car. The ambulance pulling Katsuki away, and the heroes scalding me for doing something so reckless. I took it, not wanting to get into more trouble. Thankfully, I was released with just a warning. As I'm walking home, I hear a voice yelling at me from behind me. Turning around to a spiky blonde boy, on the verge of crying standing right at me. Deku, I didn't need your help. He shouted. And I didn't want to help you. I stated back. Why did you do it then? Countering back. Because no one deserves to feel helpless. Not even people who I hate with a burning passion. With venom forming within my words. Then on Katsuki's mum starts yelling out for him, forcing him to walk away. After walking for a few minutes, Skeletal man with a familiar genetic structure walks towards me. All Might? I questioned. You can tell that all might while being in this form. He questioned. Yes, your form might change, but your genetic structure does not. I explained. Can you tell me how the sludge villain managed to get out of your grasp? Clearly annoyed, not by him, but by being hungry. Well, I crashed into a bird. He said, noticing the disappointed look on my face. Anyway, I am to make you an offer, young. Wondering my name. Midoriya. My name is Midoriya Izuku. I announced. Well, young Midoriya. While in this form please call me 𝐻𝐿, I came to offer to become my successor. He started off. Only to continue to explain the origins of his quirk, and the incident that happened to him that caused him to be in this form. So, do you accept? As tempting as that might be, I must decline. I do not know how it will react with my quirk, and for all I know my quirk could presume it's a threat and destroy it, so sorry. I said in an apologetic tone. However, I might be able to repair the damage caused to you. Can you please pass me your hand? As I hold out my own. He complies. I do not know what you might be able to do. However, most doctors have stated that even with the strongest healing quirks would do nothing. I pull my hand away and grab my notebook and start writing on a blank page. Well, that is true. But my quirk is not a healing quirk, it's an organic manipulation quirk. I said as I ripped the page out of my book. If you can get all of those items on that list, I'll be able to repair you. My number is right here, and times when I can do it are here. Please contact me with the location when you have all of the items on the list. Also, I will be informing my mum about your injury so that she can help me with the energy drain. Anyway, I have to run off now. Till then, Mr. 𝐻𝐿. Then completely running off to my home. All Might still standing there in shock of what just happened. Opening the mum rushed me, pulled me into a bear huge. Fueling me with well-needed energy, soothing the pain in my stomach. Oh my God, honey. Are you okay? Are you hurt? What were you thinking, charging at that villain? Mother storming me with questions. I'm okay, Mum. That was the second time I faced that villain today. I tried to calm her. What do you mean second time? She yelled. Let's sit down on the lounge first, then I'll explain what happened today. While guiding her to sit down. After explaining to her what happened today, we returned to our daily routine. Took a shower, got dressed in 𝐀𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐭 clothes, Mum driving us up to the studio, me doing my job on the porn stars, getting paid, return home, shower, dinner and study my school work and martial arts for the remainder of the night. The beauty of being able to stay awake without any repercussions. God, is this what Mum was talking about, perks of having a set quirk? While having energy you do not need to sleep, unless you are running low. It's amazing, not wasting time. Hey honey, aren't you going to disguise yourself before leaving? Mum asked. Well, in the news. They showed me transforming into this form. So hiding it is a waste of energy. I answered, wrapping my tail down my right leg. My phone rang with an unknown number. I picked up. Hello, Midoriya speaking. Hi, this is All Might. Clearly hearing him cough up BLD, I'm able to get all the items on the list a month from now. Can I book you on that date? He questioned. While grabbing my schedule. I do not have anything booked in then, just need to check if my mum has anything booked then. Do you mind telling me where we are going to meet up? Showing the date to her, then she starts looking at her own. We will be meeting at UA High. Surprised for a second, then remembering that Recovery Girl is working there and is his doctor. Mum signaling that she's booked that day. The location isn't an issue, however my mum is booked on that day. So unless I can find another energy source, we will need to rebook. Slightly annoyed about the prospect. What is the energy source and name of your quirk? He asked, causing me to slightly flinch. My quirk is called Lustful Modification, and by the first indicates I covert pleasure and SXL frustration into energy. And before you ask, my mother has a similar quirk that I'm able to absorb from her. While getting an apologetic look from Mum. After a bit of mumbling coming from the other end of the line, I hear. We will be able to supply another source that you can use. Oh, that's good then. I'll be there then. A excited expression, being a complete, have a good month, until then. Yagi said before hanging up. Putting the phone down, I said out aloud. I would, however I have to deal with my classmates till then. Taking a few deep breaths in. Time for school. Izuku's POV, the walk to school was different to say the least. Being so accustomed to being a weak-looking 5 feet 5 inches boy made everything seem like a threat to me. That must have been bad for my mental health, right? Well, it would have, if it wasn't for the fact that I worked with amazing-looking porn stars that any man or woman would dream to F, I thought as I take my seat in class. Uncaring of all the stares on me, that is until the girl that I sat next to me taps my shoulder. Hi, sorry to bother you. However, new students are supposed to wait outside until the homeroom teacher calls you in. Sir. Where is my manners? My name is Tam Dash. I cut her off. Tamaki Atsuko, class president. It would have been awkward if I didn't know your name after this amount of time has passed. While I stretched my back. Oh, do I know you? She questioned. I looked around, noticing that people's expressions. You guys didn't watch the news. I could have tried to keep my charade going. Too bad he is going to ruin it. Right before someone can question, Katsuki walked in looking straight at me. So you decided not to hide any more, Deku. Completely shocking everyone as they connected the dots. Well, I could have played it off as me being a transfer student. But all honestly, I believed that most people here would have seen the news. When the teacher walked in, he was about to talk to the class only to stop and internally questioning why I look this way. No. Stop what you're thinking right now. After yesterday, I decided that I need every drop of concentration to prepare for the entrances exam. Causing an audible sigh of relief from him. That's good to hear. Anyway, everyone please enter your seats now, class has now begun. Returning everything back to normal. Besides everyone keeping their distance, either for guilt or in Katsuki's case, I'm going to focusing on his own chances of getting into UA. That is everyone except the 2 goons that follow Katsuki around like pets to their L. Do you think that because you have a quirk, you are now all high and mighty? One of them said. Yeah, you are still that idiotic Deku deep down. The other continued. Hey, do you want to bet his quirk is as pathetic as him? Causing the both of them to laugh. First of all, I rank the highest academically in our entire year group, which includes all schools in Japan. I don't need a quirk to be higher than you guys. Secondly, I suggest that you do your homework before opening your mouths. I used my quirk to save Katsuki from a villain that, if you guys still follow behind him like pets, then you ran away from your... Which is probably why he isn't with you guys right now. Finally, the only reason why you guys were able to bully me is because your MSTR and I are considered special cases. That the school does not want their best students to ruin their reputation, so they let minor cases to slide like harassment and bullying. They would not admit it to the public, but if you have half a brain cell it would have been pretty obvious. Giving a few seconds as I begin to leave. Unlike Kaken, I keep my control under wraps, making them completely freeze in their actions. The rest of the month goes fairly unnoteworthy, flowing my schedule without any hiccups. Now, I'm walking up to UA for the meeting with All Might. At the entrance, I notice a sleep-deprived man wearing completely black and a white scarf around his neck, as well a bioengineered organism hiding within the scarf. Adjusting my backpack, I spoke. Hi, my name is Izuku Midoriya, you must be Principal Netsu. Part mouse, bear and dog with a hint of dolphin, good combination for the quirk, high spec. Which surprised the deprived man. Seeing how UA prides itself with hiring pro heroes, you must be some sort of underground hero if I'm not mistaken. As I looked the guy straight in the eyes. That's quite the deduction you got there. Netsu said, popping out of the scarf. Please follow us. They lead me through what seemed like a maze, until we come across a room that reads, Nurse's Office. To see, Tashinori skeletal form, Midnight and, oh my god. It's Recovery Girl. Oh my god. Waiting inside. Hello, young Midoriya. All Might said. Hello, All Might. I replied. Guessing you have some questions before I start. Before Recovery Girl got to open her mouth, Midnight beating her to the punch. Wait, are you related to the porn star 𝐮𝐭 Midoriya? only to be hit in the head by a walking stick from Recovery Girl. Now, on to more important questions. Seeing how we looked into your quirk, can you explain the reasoning for getting us a gorilla's stomach and lungs? Recovery Girl questioned as Midnight pouts. The difference between a human and a gorilla is a small percentage of genetic material. That means I'm able to easily convert them to human, and more importantly convert them better to All Might in the end. If I tried to convert human organs to fit All Might's body, those organs might blow up or lose formation. I explained my reasoning. Now that makes more sense. However, can you tell me why you asked for protein and chemicals? Recovery Girl continued, causing 𝐻𝐻𝐸 to hop out of the sleepy man's scarf. All that needs restoring is All Might's respiratory and digestive systems. Slightly saddened that she made a simple but deadly mistake, I took a deep breath in. After the 11 years of staying in that condition, his body had massively weakened to the point where, if I were to just added the organs themselves, his entire body would begin to shut down. A few seconds went by in complete silence, until 𝐻𝐻𝐸 starts clapping. Congratulations, you passed our little test for you. Completely confusing me. Do you believe we would let you do something to the symbol of peace without a test? And no, just I would have guessed you give me a normal test with all the information that would have been required for what I am here to do. I answered honestly. And Midnight, 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐫𝐭 Midoriya is my mother. Leading to a sparkle in her eye. Well now, first of all, Midnight is here as the substitute energy source for you, being a licensed SEC therapist for over a year now. 𝐻𝐻𝐸 said while pulling out a paper. And before you worry, we already got your mother's permission 2 days ago. So that is what Mum meant by, make the Midoriya name proud and have fun. I was going to do that anyway, but now I'm aiming to F till her mind breaks. I thought, looking around. So, where is the items? 2 robots roll in 2 containers and a large milkshake-looking drink on a table. I'm guessing that you already mixed the ingredients together. Besides that, let's get started. Beginning with the lung. I touch All Might while holding the lung, a greenish-pink energy flow around the two. The lung slightly changing texture and color, moving it towards All Might as it's suddenly absorbed by his body. Kind of shocking everyone there, including All Might who is seeing but not feeling anything. This process repeats with the stomach, until the glow from my hand that was holding the organ's pulse, removing all BLD from it, then handing All Might the milkshake. Start drinking, I commanded, making him chug down every last drop. From a bystander's view, they would feel the rising wind pressure from All Might's growing in size. I feel amazing. Thank you, young Midoriya. All Might exuded complete joy. When trying to get up, he bends the metal of the bed frame and breaks a clean hole into the floor. Pulling out his foot, he looks in to see 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐻 in the staff room. Sorry for that. 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐻 huffs as he refills the hole. I suggest we leave Midnight and the boy here, seeing how he is barely keeping control over his condition at the moment. Recovery Girl said, pointing at me curled up in the opposite corner of the room with the only facial part of me is my deep green eyes. Izuku's POV while All Might is chugs the milkshake, I took a second to blink. Suddenly, I'm somehow standing a field of nothingness. Looking around to see a skinny man wearing casual clothes with white hair covering his face. So, do you know where I am? I asked with a confused expression on my face. This place is the mindscape of a legacy that you declined. He said while walking towards me. We don't blame you. Your reasoning is sound, kiddo, another voice said behind me, making me look back to see a black-haired woman in a hero suit with a black head at her bottom right lip. Can you give Toshi a message from us? Sure, what is it? I accepted. When looking for a successor, choose one that is becoming a hero for the right reasons. Otherwise he would tell a quirkless that they can't be a hero without any power. I bet if you were quirkless, he would have said that to you if given the chance. Slightly mocking All Might in the process. Anyway, time for you to wake up. Before questioning any further, I was back in the real world with a familiar pain in my stomach. I curled myself into a corner away from everyone, barely paying attention of the scenario happening in front of me. Only seeing Recovery Girl pointing towards at me, as everyone's starting to walk towards the door. The last one in the room with me was Midnight, moving around covering the windows and locking the door. Walking directly into the center of the room, she begins to remove her hero suit while constantly making eye contact with me. "Are you going to keep staring at me, or are you going to make a move?" as she said, dropping her panties to the side. With that taunt, I rip off all my clothes and rush at her, pining her to the ground. Using my tail to tie her hands above her head, kneading both her butt and melons at the same time, I move my lips to Midnight's ear. "When I left home today, my mother told me to make the Midoriya name proud and have fun. But I couldn't figure out what I should do with you, make you feel this for weeks or break your mind from pure pleasure, but then I realized that I can do both at the same time." As a surge of both pleasure and SXL frustration begin to rise. "Midoriya, shouldn't I be the one pleasuring?" Midnight questioned. I tighten my tail and pull her from opposite directions, slightly rubbing my PP on her C. "I'm fueled off of your longing. Pinching and pulling her NPL. And your pleasure. So please, all you can do for me is enjoy the ride." As I start kissing, liking and nibbling at her neck, while moving the hand that was on her but to rub the wet PP under my pages. Tension releasing from her arms, I untie her and began to move away. Stopped by Midnight grabbing my tail and nibbling at it. Escaped my lips, weaves of my own pleasure torment from my sensitive tail. In retaliation, I crash our hips together to use my PP roughly rub her seal. As a huge surge of energy flows through me, allowing me to grab her arms and pull them off my tail. "So you enjoy rough?" I didn't know that example of a DM in TRX, loves being treated like AF toy. I said, causing her to look away in embarrassment. "Didn't I tell you to enjoy the ride?" Slamming my PP all the in her PP, releasing her first orgasm. She screamed. Recovering from that, she slightly moved and said, 5 inches. Not bad, but I have DLDS bigger than that dash. Stopping as she feels my PP growing within her. Using my quirk on the both of us. 8 inches should be a good starting point, wouldn't you say? Instantly knowing where her G-spot is and not wanting to give any moment, I began moving within her. Letting go of her arms and grabbing onto the waist, pushing harder and deeper within her, only slowing down if the energy rate decreases. A slight pain forming as I'm filling up with energy. No. This is too much, but it's too good. I am not wasting this opportunity if I stop now, right? I look at Midnight, miming and playing and sking on her nipples. F it, I'm in UA Fing, one of their teachers. I'm going to show this slot the meaning of plus ULTA. Midnight comes for the second time as my demonic features become prominent, with my horns and tail grew larger, with the color changing to match the same as the 2 blackish-green wings that sprouted out from where the pain once was. Shocking the heroine, I picked the both of us up off the ground and continued to F her with a now increased PP size of 11 inches. Wrapping her arms around the nape of my neck, Midnight pulled into a kiss to at least dominate me in one thing. Shockingly, I manipulate my tail to produce a lube-like substance to cover itself as it wiggles the tip around her butt. I slam my PP into her, holding still as my tail slowly spreads Midnight's butt. Phew, yuck. She screamed, pulling out of the kiss to focus on staying awake, as I continue to move my PP to synchronize moving in her at different times. F, 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 F. Are all the words she said, as the pace of my moving becomes increasingly more frantic from the cum building in both my PP and tail. I'm coming, the heroine screamed while digging her nails into my bicep, only to let go as the feeling of 2 large explosions of cum funnel into her butt and her PP slashing outward from being overfilled. Midnight flinches as I pull out both my PP and tail from her, while putting her down one of the beds. Recovery girl is going to hate that mess on her sheets, correct? Looking at Midnight with the only response is a head shake as a yes. Well, I'm going to do something with it then. So, the tattoo will fade 6 months from now, also have fun with the positives. Before trying to ask what I meant, Midnight cummed again, passing out as greenish-pink energy flows through her, completely optimizing her body, while a blackish-green tattoo forms above her pages. Moving to my backpack and realizing that I destroyed my clothes, I grabbed my notebook and write down The PP tattoo is not permanent, it will last roughly 6 months. It has multiple affects, with this one being able to optimize the target. Picture what I did for All Might but without the drink. However, if you start a diet based for you will remain optimized for a bit longer. Also, while the tattoo is on PRs will last an hour, and besides to first few minutes it becomes painless. Painless. Don't have SEC with guys unless you use a condom, the pill will not work and any other chemical substitute. You have been warned. Ripping the page out and placed it on the desk. Hopefully I kept my P uniform in my bag. I looked in and noticed another bag under everything with a note that said, just in case. Love Mum, inside. There is spare button-up shirt and cargo briefs. Thankful, I got dress, slicing 2 slits for my wings to fit through, grabbed my shoes that didn't rip apart and placed all the ripped clothing into my bag. Before leaving, I covered Midnight with a blanket and nicely stacked her clothing at the end of the bed. Now time to explain what happened to them. While looking at a mirror, Izuku's POV to unlocking and opening the door, a bellow of pink mist follows me as I begin to All Might and the others. All of them having shocked expressions on their face, confused by this only until Present Mike walks through and inhales the mist. Oh, Midnight must have lost control over her quirk at some point. Shrugging at this. How are you still awake after being in there when Mike literally collapsed after a single whiff, and while you're at it what the hell is that form? Sleep-deprived man said, rubbing the bridge of his nose. Well, I can only sleep when I'm low on energy, meaning that she must have lost control at the end. And the form is new to me, seeing how I actually never ate that much in one sitting. Scratching the back of my head as I slightly flare my up wings. Mind you, I have to learn how to fly now. Problem child. The man enters into a yellow sleeping bag and scoots away. Anyway, thank you young Midoriya. I feel like I'm back in my prime. All Might announced, flexing his body. If that's the case, then that is kind of sad. I optimized your body for your age, meaning if I did that while you were in your prime, you could have been 2 to 5 times stronger. I said, making All Might stop flexing. Age is still a massive part of the equation. I would say, in a year you will decrease from optimized to peak. Peak being what I aspect most heroes be at for this line of work. Also what I would consider you in your prime would be. Do you know any way to maintain being optimized? Recovery Girl questioned. No, there is not a way that I know. As well, I don't have the qualifications, time or money to create it something like that. Everyone getting a little down by that news, besides Nezu who is just smiling like a dumb dog. Oh, I almost forgot about this. Something happened during the optimizing process. And I believe it is related to your quirk All Might. This quickly changed the tone of the conversation. Then I suggest we take this to my office. Recovery Girl, please stay here and wait for Midnight and Present Mike to awaken. Nezu said while walking away. All Might and I follow him into his office, with All Might closing and locking the door behind us, then took a seat. Before you ask, I already know about One for All, so does Recovery Girl. To get that all out of the way, do you wish for a cup of tea? No thank you. When All Might started drink the milkshake, I blinked for rough a second, then I was in a completely barren place. Besides a skinny man with long white hair covering his face, telling me that it was the mindscape of a legacy that I declined. Know that this he was referring to One for All, then. Another voice came behind me. It was woman with black hair, in a hero suit and a black head at the bottom right lip, who wanted me to give a message to Atoshi. All Might slightly flinches at hearing his old nickname. While scrolling on his phone, he spoke. Did she look like this? Showing me the picture of her and a teen with blonde hair my age smiling together. I shook my head in affirmance. Her name is Nana Shimura, and was the 7th user of One for All. Toshi is a nickname she gave me. Oh, that makes sense now. She wanted me to tell you to choose a successor that is wanting to become a hero for the right reasons. Then she began talking SHT about you, and how you would have told a quirkless kid that they couldn't become a hero. Which you wouldn't, right All Might? I said, hoping that she was wrong. She wasn't. Seriously. Well, I would say it that harshly. I would probably say something like, you cannot be a hero without power, you will be a liability to the other heroes. He said, looking away. I begin to rub my eyes. She mimicked your voice and pinned down the exact wording you would use. I yelled at him. All might if you told me correctly. Aren't you quirkless without one for all? 𝐻𝐻𝐿 called out. Okay, I'm done with this for today. I'm going home now. If you need me you have my number. I begin to leave. Before you leave Midoriya, I must ask. Are you planning on going to UA? 𝐻𝐻𝐿 asked, catching my attention. If you are, we would like to offer you to do recommendation exam. Sorry, I scheduled to enter UA through the normal entrance exam, and anything else might interfere with them. A sorry expression forming on my face. Thanks for the offer at the very least. Bowing down and leaving. Time to head home. I hope 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫 is for dinner. Izuku's POV, hey mum, I'm home. I said, taking off my shoes and walking into the main living space. Noting the other pair of shoes in the hallway. Hi honey, why do you have wings? Mum said, causing the guest to turn around. Also, if you don't remember, this is 𝐒𝐮𝐩𝐫𝐭, Katsuki's mother. Hey Izuku. Long time since we last saw each other, what have you been up to? I can tell your quirk manifested, and boy have you grown. Surprising me how calm she for a 𝐒𝐵𝐭. It has been forever. I went into a hug with her. God, what the hell? How much SXL frustration does she have? Doesn't her husband pleasure her? I gave my mum a shocked look, while my eyes are glowing from the intensity of her lust. I've been doing jobs here and there, while preparing for the UA entrance exam. How's Masaru and you doing? Can't be easy dealing with Katsuki. I pulling out from the hug. Teach, Masaru and I have been fed by our time schedules work gave us, and every time we get to be together Katsuki manages to ruin it for us. Mitsuki explains. That's why I'm here, to ask your mum a favor. Well, after I get out of the shower I can give you a massage while you talk business. We have all the equipment from when I practiced on mum. I said while beginning to move to my room. If you don't then I'll just do it on mum instead. Y'all have a free massage. I heard from 𝐮𝐭 just a minute ago that you are a licensed massage therapist. This causes mum to slightly giggle. Well, do you mind helping mum set up then? I won't take long. I said, quickly grabbing my stuff and walking into the bathroom. Sure, just tell me who you fed before coming here. She tried to get me in trouble when I began to close the door. Oh, I fed the R-rated heroine, Midnight. But I can't confirm it seeing how she won't be walking around for roughly a week. At that, I closed the door on the completely shocked face of Mitsuki and the rolling ball of laughter known as my mum. So, Katsuki got it from his mum, but he is far more blunt than her. After causing multiple orgasms from a normal massage on Mitsuki, the 9 remaining months flew by. In those months, I managed to start flying, cleaned to Kobe Municipal Beach Park to gain experience in carrying weirdly shaped and weighted objects. The news found out that a junior high student fed Midnight, which caused Midnight to explain that she is a licensed SEC therapist helping a sec quirk user. That wasn't the best part though, it was when the media asked the question. Seeing how you have gone on record about your SXL experiences with other pro heroes, how do you rank that student? And the response caused outrage for every pro hero she dated. The only reason for why I spoke about other pro heroes is because they slandered my name to the media. What I will say is that they made definitely me question who is supposed to benefit from the session, something that none of the names you know I've dated has ever done. I'm thankful that I decided to hide my new form from my classmates. They may not know what my quirk is, but they aren't that dumb. I look at the of UA, taking in the size, seeing how I didn't get the chance the first time. Get out of my way, Deku, or I'll set you on fire. The Pomeranian commanded. I hope you can clean that attitude up before you get expelled at this school. Also, do you have our mother's number? I need to contact her about the meeting place for the photo shoot tomorrow. I informed. You can go F of if death. He yelled before storming off. You are just jealous that she likes me more than she likes you. I countered back, which he simply ignored. Isn't that mean to say something like that to a person? A brown hair girl said. For someone who caused this scar on my face, not a chance. Then I walked inside, putting the girl in shock. Ain't you coming? I said, breaking her out of her daze. First was the written test. Everyone was separated into classrooms to do the tests. The supervising teacher my group was Midnight, and that is positively difficult to do the test. Not the actual test itself, but the smell and sound of a muffled VBR on or in her while masturbating made concentrating difficult. The girl with the earphone jacks and the guy that seemed to be beast-like also had similar issues. Finishing a few minutes early, I handed in the test in only for Midnight to touch my hand. Holy th! She has been edging herself for 2 hours straight. Is she trying to break my mind with an energy overload? I thought, quickly running to the auditorium. Taking my seat, I read through the pamphlet. As I began to burn off the overflowing energy, I barely paid attention to the present Mike's explanation. Then a blued-hair boy stood. Excuse me, so far you have only talked about 3 robots when the pamphlet says 4. If this is an error on the school, I would have expected better from you. He complained, then turning around and pointed to me. And you with green hair and horns, you have not been paying attention this entire time. If you're here to waste time, then I suggest you leave. Katsuki is trying not to laugh at my demise. Sorry that I'm trying to keep my quirk under control, and the fact that you were distracted by me indicates that you don't have what it takes to be a hero. Present Mike was phrasing the most important robots first, meaning that last robot is more of an obstacle than a method of gaining villain points. Also, while I'm at it, if it was a mistake, that should show you that they are still people. People makes mistakes every day in this line of work we all are trying to get in. You must work with everything you have and be prepared for when everything goes wrong. I proclaimed and gesturing towards the front. Present Mike finished, allowing everyone to change into their gym or training clothes and separate to the buses. Great, who knew that yelling at an idiot drains so much energy? I should have enough to complete this exam. Izuku's POV, walking out to the waiting spot barefoot, as well stretching my wings before I noticed the same brown hair girl having a slight panic attack. Deciding on helping her, I walk over only for Cockblock's Sonic ripoff to stop me. Are you trying to sabotage that girl's chances? Causing everyone to look at me? No, I noticed she was having a slight panic attack. How is she supposed to do this test to the best of her abilities? So for the last time, use your brain before trying to make someone else look bad. I said, clearly seeing the girl calming down after hearing me. About to continue going off at him, but the gates have started opening. Hope I don't get you in my class. Flying into the exam while everyone stood there, looking like I'm doing something wrong. What are you doing, little listeners? There are no real countdowns in a real battle. Go. Present Mike said. At that, I've already destroyed multiple 2 and 3 pointers, making sure I hit the 60-point mark at halftime before focusing less on destroying and rather helping other examinees. Changing my feet and hands to be covered in keratin plating to handle the rebound damage from punching and slashing of metal, at the halfway mark I managed to get 59 points. I'll destroy a 1-pointer when saving others. Nearing the last few minutes of the exam, a rumbling across the mock city began. Everyone began running away from a giant robot. How can they afford this? Better start going. I don't have the energy to stop this. Is that the same brown girl trapped under rubble and in the robot's way? I hope Midnight doesn't mind not walking for another week. I thought, breaking the sound barrier as I pierced straight through the robot's head, then turning around to repeat the process into the chest. Landing right beside the girl, I took off the rumble and said, "You have a fractured ankle. Do you mind if I use my quirk?" All she can do is nod, as I begin to kiss her and rub the nape of her neck, transferring some of the absorbed energy into her ankle, healing it, while continuing a little bit longer to gain a bit of energy to get to Midnight. You are able to now, but I think Present Mike just called time a second ago. See you in class, cute cheeks. As I walk away, on my way back into you, I came across Present Mike. Hey little listener, how can I help you? He said. Hi, I'm looking for Midnight. I have a set quirk and I used too much energy in the entrance exam. Do you know where I can find her? I questioned. Please follow me, he said as while down the hall, leading me to a room that says, SEC Therapist, please use the intercom. On it, Present Mike presses on it and says, Hey Midnight, there is another patient for you. With that the door unlocks, as Present Mike walks away telling me good luck. Entering the door I am greeted by a L-shaped room and another door that opens to show Midnight in her hero suit and slight jazz playing in the background. I thought that you might come to me after the exam. Please close the door as you enter. Midnight said while taking a seat. Why do I hear two 𝐒𝐵𝐵𝐴𝐻 at the same time? Inside there is a girl sitting on the couch in UA school uniform with swirling blue hair and is looking at me with a smile. Hi. My name is 𝐒𝐮𝐩𝐸𝐸. What's your name? What's your quirk? What brings you here to Midnight's dungeon? She jumped towards me, firing off her questions with the power of a minigun. After looking her up and down, I answered, My name is Izuku Midoriya. And I'll answer the rest of the questions, if you can tell me why you allowed Midnight to open the for me if you have an active 𝐒𝐵RTR in you. Looking her straight in the eyes. My quirk is called Spiral, and it uses stamina as an energy source. Recently, I found out that 𝐶𝐻𝐿 stamina training is a far better boost than normal stamina training. Plus it is a challenge that me and Midnight have to see who can hold out for the longest. She explained, while gripping onto her skirt. Well, okay then. My quirk is called Lustful Modification. I convert people's pleasure and 𝐶𝐻𝐿 frustration into energy to manipulate and boost any living organism. However, the reason why I'm here is because that same energy is also used as my food source. I just did the entrance exam and I cannot leave without the fear I'll losing control. I said, with her nodding in acknowledgement. Also, you haven't answered one question. Wait, which one? She looked shocked. Why did you let Midnight to bring me in if you have a session with her? I answered, curiosity. In the entire school, I am the only student that has therapy with her for my training. She said, sitting back down to not fall from weak knees. Well, now that's all out of the way. I cannot do what you requested, Midoriya. The last time I had your mother's permission for a one-time session. She explained, causing me to gripe my wrist in worry and to control my hunger. Meaning unless your mother signs on a contract that you will always be permitted to have therapy with me dash. What if he FS me? 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐸 questioning finger on her cheek. What if he FS me? 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐸 asked, whilst placing a questioning finger onto her cheek. 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐸𝐸, I hope you realize the weight of what you are saying. Midnight stated, clearly in a serious tone. I do. If he leaves here in that condition, he has the chance of attacking a random person. He doesn't actually need to F me, all he needs to do is pleasure me. Plus, he is literally the male version of the porn star Izuku Midoriya that I have fantasies about fing me. Wait, are you related to her? You both have Midoriya as your family name. She explained to explosive questioning. Midnight finding this quite amusing, deciding to ignore the fact that she is a minor watching pawn. Yes, she is my mum. Still recovering from the rapid change in volume, I bet that volume change can give present Mike a run for his money. Is there any chance that I can meet her? I'm a 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐸𝐸 fan. 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐸𝐸 said, jumping around. After thinking for a moment, I said with a devious grin. She should be home right now, so if we leave now, you can meet her before we can F, but that means that I have to hold on to you for the entire time there, if you don't mind. Do you mind waiting outside as I call her? While I pull out my phone. Okay, she said as she walks towards the door, not hearing or seeing me whisper and getting something from Midnight. After calling my mum to explain what's happening, I walk to the train station holding 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐸𝐸's hand. Walking onto the train being the last ones on this cart, 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸 is facing the door and I hugging her from behind with one arm. After a minute, 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐸𝐸 squirms a little and looks me straight in the eye. What's wrong, 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐸𝐸? If you keep this up, people around us might find out. I whispered into her ear, feeling the pleasure emitting from her. I thought we agreed that it'll wait till we get to your house. She said, taking deep breaths to stay composed. Oh, you never agreed about teasing, did you dash? I suching the 𝐒𝐵RTR to max, correct. Now can you last until our train stop? The minutes have passed, 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐸𝐸 has kept her composure and I noticed that the same purple-haired girl with headphone jacks is in the same cart watching and blushing. I turn my head making eye contact, as well moving my tail under my shirt and down my sleeve. Hope you enjoy the ride. I said into 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐸𝐸's ear. Before she can question, I coil my tail under her blouse, around her waist and into her panties. 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐸𝐸 began gripping tightly to my arm, using it as a crutch for her trembling legs. as my tail slightly vibrates while rubbing her CLT. Quirks have different affects that can make a dangerous scenario better or worser. For example, Midnight's quirk allows for mass riots can nullify all aggressors, but for raids her quirk can affect allies leading into non-discriminatory knockout of powerful allies needed for the raid. 𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐻 said, trying to distract herself from the wave of pleasure erupting from her. Sensing that she is near her limit, I begin to speed up. Before she screams from the powerful orgasm, I turned her around and pulled into a deep French kiss. Uncoiling my tail from her, the cart door opens. This is our stop. All she can do is shake her head. As I turn off the VBR while we walked off, I give the purple-haired girl a wink. After walking for a few minutes, I decided to break the air. So how was it? I trying to form good words. Clearly trying to recover, only for her to take a few deep breaths. Why did you decide to use your tail? Because a girl who was also taking the entrance exam heard the VBRTR and was watching. I said, causing her to massively blush. Oh my God, that's so embarrassing. If she gets in, she will look at me differently. Why didn't you tell me? Clearly about to punch me. Because she couldn't see your face and all that judgment would be targeted to me for that same reason. Basing of her physical build and brain activity, she is definitely going to pass the exam. Probably is going to be in my class, so I should clear things up with her. 𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐻 slowly lowers her fist. Plus, with her sensitive hearing and her watching your body move, she was close to orgasming herself. You have a body that can make people beg on their knees for you. A body of a goddess, and you agreed to enter a succubus's lair. I hope you are ready. Opening the door as I guide her inside the lair. Both of us taking off our shoes and walk into the living room. Mom, I'm home, I said, watching Shepherd wobbling out of Mom's room with her clothes haphazardly put on. Hey, Shepherd had fun. About to say something but decides to wave me off and walk to the exit. Hi, honey. How was the exam? Mom said, walking out in a silk bathrobe. 𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐻 is clearly fangirling massively. You must be 𝐒𝐮𝐩𝐻𝐸𝐻. My son told me that you were coming. Mom said, pulling out a few things from her room. Here is a change of clothes that should fit you, towel and other cleaning supplies for you. Now if you excuse me, I need to get ready for work. One question. What is on this disc? 𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐻 asked, while holding a disc case. That is a limited edition film that only 100 copies were made, called Lustful Force. She answered, causing 𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐻 to squeal. Now you two have fun. I guide 𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐻 into my room, closing the door behind. Inside there is a bookcase, drawers, closet, couch and a desk where I place 𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐻's change of clothing. Midoriya, where do I? As I turn back on the VBR, pinning her onto the couch. Did you forgot what I said? You have entered into a succubus's and its offspring. Sleep is meaningless when you can feed off of lust for eternity. As I begin to lick my lips. Time to corrupt a goddess. Izuku's POV, time to corrupt a goddess. As I move my hand around her cheek, pulling into a deep passionate kiss. 𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐻 lifts her arms up and around my neck, pulling herself deeper into the battle for Demps. With my other hand I establish the VBR to random, then slowly sliding up her thigh, maintaining my control. Taking a breath, I begin unbuttoning her clothes, showing the toned physique wearing pastel blue BR, and the matching pair of soaked panties that have peeked through the slid-up skirt. Let's have the taste of the forbidden fruit. Moving down, I wrenched off the dripping panties to see a pink rubbery stick protruding from her seam. Liking 𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐻's CLT, I snatch the VBR and begin to use it to stir her PP as waves of energy comes to me. Oh, Midori, ah. As a spray of cum floods out from her, hearing the VBR die, I remove it out from her, causing another mini orgasm in the process. She put a finger up to me as a sign to wait, then she walked over to bag and grabs her phone to call someone. Please be Mom, please be Mom. Hi Mom. Do you mind if I stay over at a guy's house? It's because of his quirk. It's a sec quirk. I should have asked, hey Midoriya, do you have dash? Yes, that is his mother. I literally just met her and she gave me a limited edition of one of her films. Love you. Bye. She hung up. Okay, I'm allowed to stay here for the night with you for the night because I don't think I'll be able to walk after we're done. Also do have protection, or does your quirk all you not to impregnate? Do you think your mum would mind that I stay here for the night? I'm able to see people's bodily functions, and I don't think she breathed through all of that. I thought after that barrage of questions. First my quirk allows me to choose if I impregnate or not, but I can infuse my 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐵𝐭 onto a target forming a PP tattoo. Depending on the type of tattoo, I can completely optimize them, manipulate their body from far away to using allowing me to stockpile energy that builds up during their day-to-day life. I can do all of them on the same target, but the optimizing tattoo fades faster from months to weeks to days. My mum just left, so to answer the last question, let's see. I said, getting up and checking the clean pile of clothes mum left for her. Would your mum allow me to walk around the house wearing just this? The contrast of her blue hair and blazing red face. What if a guest walks in or something? The rules of the house is that no fing in the kitchen, dining and living rooms. And you must be covered with at the very least with a bathrobe when leaving the bathroom or bedroom. So no. As long as you wear the kimono, you are all good. I said, giving her a huge smile. I begin taking my clothes off. Unlike you, where do I sleep? As she begins jumping out of her own. At that I put my hand under the couch and lift a trigger, shifting it to a queen-size bed. Walking over to the closet, I pulling out 2 pillows and throwing them at the far end. With a smile on her face, she asked, "How long do you think it will last?" "Until you fall unconscious." As I pin her up onto a wall, nibbling the neck while kneading her thigh and 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐵𝐭 goes down my muscles and begins to massage my PP, rubbing the tip in her 𝐶𝐮𝐻𝐵𝐭. "Eager, ain't you?" "I need to be, I've came twice where you haven't at all," she said as I begin to pull at her NPL. "Just focus on your own pleasure or I'll start going on hard." Stealing her breath after a deep kiss. She wraps her legs around my waist and slams my PP into her. F your future senpai's dripping 𝐶𝐮𝐻𝐵 until you soak it with every last drop of cum. Gripping my hands onto her waist as I begin pounding her pages. F yes, F, I'm leaking again. F. As she twitch all over her body, I move us in front of the mirror on the closet. "What are you F?" As I begin to F her from behind. "You want me to come? Look at what you need to become." Looking into the mirror, I see 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐵𝐿's hair and BRST bouncing to every move I make. Personal SEC toy. Do you want that? Do you want me to treat you like a dirty little slut that you are? Yes, please. She begged. I start slowing down, as SXL frustration starts to rise within her. She looked at me through the mirror, to see me shaking my head in disapproval. After taking a deep breath, she yelled. Yes, please. Treat this dirty F slot as your personal F tool. This F goddess is your personal tool. At that I double the size of my PP and PND her back to full speed. F yes. It feels so great. I'm leaking, I'm coming. Her legs collapsing from the strength of the orgasm, picking her up and putting her onto the bed/couch. Why haven't see? Her tongue forced out as I stick my tail into her butt, then fing her in both holes. All the sounds coming out of my room is miming and screaming coming from her, barely being able to form a proper sentence. 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐵𝐿, I hope you're ready. Before she could try to say something, my pace becomes faster and more erratic. She moves her hands above her head, grabbing all of hair, trying her hardest focused. Her body arcs forward as waves of cum floods through her, as the goddess gives me a hungerful view of her body. Removing my bits from her, I move above her to rub her cheek. Time to sleep, my lust goddess. At that a surge of energy flows through her, completely knocking her out as a PP tattoo forms. Moving the pillows and pulling out a blanket, I tuck her to sleep. Now, time to complete that suit. 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐵𝐿's POV, my flutter open, as my body aches in pain. Did I overdo training again? I don't remember doing physical training, and what's that buzzing feeling on my pages? Did I forget to turn VBRTR again? Wait, this isn't my which god I forgot IFA future junior to. At that, the door knocked as a demon-possessed cinnamon roll walks in with a tray. I thought you might wake up around about now. Good morning, by the way. He said. Good morning. What time is it? I ask. 5:30 a.m. as he places the tray onto my lap, showing me what is on it. Wow, this looks amazing. Did you make this? I questioned as I sit up, uncaring that I'm showing my 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐻𝐵𝐻. I'll tell my mum that you liked it, and no, I can't cook to save the life of me. He said, moving to the desk. So what are your plans for today? Yes, I have to go to Ryukyu's agency for my work placement. I said, finishing my meal. Getting up to see a PP tattoo on me. Oh, so that's what caused the tingling feeling. With a confused expression on his face, he spoke. Wait, you can feel the tattoo? Yes, why? I innocently replied. Try using your quirk. Compiling, I create a small spiral of yellow energy. That's new, and it is using less energy than normal, indicating the pinkish-green sparks coming off, with Izuku giving a shocked expression. What's wrong? That's new. The PP tattoo that I put onto you seems to flow the excess though your quirk. He said, as I begin to jump around. But, can I keep it? Can I keep it? I begged, making him giggle. Sure you can. Just note that the only times that the tattoo fades is when either all the energy is removed or I'm dead. Informing me, then grabbing and pulling me by the waist to his chest. Plus, I need to mark my property, lustful goddess. If I remember correctly, you said, this Fing goddess is your personal tool. He recalled, making me to blush brightly. I hope Ryukyu doesn't mind if I'm a few minutes/hours late, right? Izuku's POV. A week has passed and the letter for you has arrived. Opening it, a disc falls out and landed on the table. I am here, on projection. All Might exploded with pumped-up energy. Izuku Midoriya, you have not just passed the theory test with flying. I'm sorry, sir. All Might is cut off. Hello, Izuku, you already know me as Principal Nedzu. Can you please come to my office before or after school starts, with the permission slip signed by your mother? You are in class 1A with being the top student in all exams. The principal stated as the disc cuts off, with All Might about to continue. Thank you, Principal Nedzu. I stated, turning around to see Mum standing there at the door frame. Well, if I wanted privacy, I should have closed the door, right? Yep, congratulations, Izuku. I'm so proud. Mum said while giving me a hug. Now time to prepare for school. You are going to cut down on the working time you have. Before I could argue, Mum cuts me off. We did this for junior high as well, and you are able to increase it after the first year. All I can do is nod. Good, now time to prepare. The first of UA has arrived. Walking through the halls, taking a right to see a room labeled, Principal's Office, warning doom ahead. I knock on the door, waiting for a response. Come in. A polite voice calls. I walk inside to see Principal Nedzu and Midnight. Ah, perfect timing. We were just about to start, please sit. I comply, handing him the signed slip. Ah, thank you. Then handing me a ruler-thick tome of a book. Ah, Principal Nedzu. May I inquire what this is about? I ask. That is all the information required to become a licensed SEC therapist. Midnight answered. Sorry, I don't follow this line of thinking. SEC therapists are able to work with SEC quirk users that are under the age, so this is effectively useless for me to learn at the moment. I stated. Close, however not correct. The law states that a SEC therapist is exempt from the underage FRNCTN law if a SEC quirk is involved. And loophole was created for SEC quirk users to become SEC therapists. Nedzu corrected me, to my surprise. Now your exam to be licensed is 2 days after the sports festival, so you better start studying. Also after that, you will be working with Recovery Girl to become a licensed doctor. Seeing how you are unable to sleep, this should be an easy task for you. By the end of UA, you will become a licensed in everything I see fit for you. Good luck. Politely stated. Now I see why there is a sign stating, warning doom ahead. Thanks, Mum, for cutting down my working calendar. I need it. I thought, well, if you survive your homeroom teacher, that is. Did you know he expelled his entire class last year because he didn't see any potential in them? I'm going to die midway through the first year. That's nice to know. Izuku's POV leaving Nedzu's office. You could have sworn that my soul was crushed into powder. The cost of working with the devil, I presumed. After walking through the human-mouse maze of a layout. For normal people, I'm freaking out about the size of the door. But all honestly, I was just building up the mental fortitude for two loud mouths that are arguing. Take your feet off the desk, you are dishonoring former students by scuffing school property. Did your old school put a stick up your butt or were you born with it? Katsuki stated. We got on the wrong foot. I'm Tenya Ida, from 𝐒𝐮𝐲𝐫𝐭 Junior High. Now named Ida said, moving his hand to shake Katsuki's. Ah, an elitist. I'm going to have killing you. With a maniacal grin. Ida recoiling from the killing. Before he could continue with talking with him, he noticed me opening the door. Speed walking up to me. Hello, I'm Ten-. I cut him off. Tenya Ida, from 𝐒𝐮𝐲𝐫𝐭 Junior High. I heard, I'm Izuku Midoriya. I said. Just as he was about to speak, a small boy with purple ball on his head interrupted. Wait, I the Pawn Star. He shouted, making everyone to look at me. Which one of y'all woke me? As the hobo hero rises in a yellow sleeping bag. Take your seats. He commanded, to everyone's fear. I am your homeroom teacher, 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐵. Put these on and meet me outside. Showing the PE uniform. While everyone is changing. Hey, look, there's a hole into the girls' changing rooms. Mayonetta said, causing my tail to whack him to the other side of the room. Sorry, did someone say anything? Clearly knowing what I'm doing. I whisper so that 𝐻𝐸𝐵 can only hear it. Can you ask the girls on that side if they have anything to block the hole? While blocking the hole with my tail. Come on, dude. How many times will you get to see a girl naked? Yellow-haired guy argued back. Plenty. I bluntly said. Not everyone here is related to a porn star, cockblock. Mayonetta shouted, pulling himself out of the wall. I keep quite staring them down. Get out of the way, 𝐵𝐵𝐵𝐵𝐵. I comply, finishing getting dressed and walking out. What the hell? It's blocked up. No. Seeing all the girls, dual-colored hair guy and a yellow caterpillar outside, probably rushed after hearing what happened from 𝐻𝐸𝐵. I'm sorry that they are borderline SEC offenders in our class. I say, slightly bowing. Don't worry. You or anyone here couldn't have changed that fact. The raven black-haired lady stated. At least you're not a pervert like him. This causes 𝐻𝐸𝐵 to snort, to all the girls' shock. After the entrance exam, he was playing with a girl on the train. She stated, making them all stare at me. She's right, I did do that. I used too much energy in the exam, so she helped me out. It's the same reason I kissed you during the exam. Pointing to the machi-looking girl. Before you ask, my quirk is a type of SEC quirk. As I begin stretching, while the rest of the guys begin walking in. Why are you bleeding, Minoru Mayonetta? Sensei questioned. This guy hit me into a wall. He stated, pointing to me. You have one chance before I expel you. What is your answer? Aizawa stated, as begins to unfurl his scarf. Mayonetta was breaking the privacy of the girls' locker room. In a world that isn't fair, it's a hero's job to fight against that. Expelling me for that would go against everything a hero should stand for. I explained. Right answer. Returning back to normal. Today we are doing a quirk apprehension to show well you can use your quirks. Completely ignoring Mayonetta. Midoriya. What is your farthest throw in junior high? I was banned for all physical tests for PE due to my quirk always being on. I stated. That is completely illogical. The way of testing someone based without something that is natural is a way to an end. Then throwing me 2 ball. Enter the circle and throw one without pushing yourself, then repeat it but go all out on it. Sensei commanded as I follow his instructions. First throw, creating a wind pressure blowing my classmates' hair back. 578, 6 meters, shocking all of them. Again. Second throw, I changed my body's form allowing peak performance. Launching everyone back as I throw the ball. Infinity. Showing the class. That's insane. Mayonetta screamed, due to him being implanted into a tree. Not really. It's really easy to launch something into orbit, if you know how that is. I calmingly stated. Everyone began hyping themselves up until a pink-skinned girl stated, "This is going to be fun." "Fun, you say? Whoever comes last in this test will be expelled," Aizawa stated, causing mostly everyone to freak out. "Sir, can I go to the nurse's office?" Mineta asked before Machi girl can complain. "No." He bluntly, "How am I going to do my best in this condition? It's unfair." Trying to fight back. "Life isn't fair. Do you think natural disasters are fair? Power-hungry villains rampaging around. Like Midoriya stated, it's a hero's job to fight against said unfairness." "Understood," he stated to the entire class. "As the class does all the tests, I came first in, everyone also sharing one with Machi Girl and Raven Hair Queen, with the latter taking my advice and creating a method for launching the ball into orbit. Creation quirk. A quirk that has similar potential as mine. If it wasn't for Nezu, I could have enjoyed high school. I thought waiting for Aizawa to tell us the results. Telling you the results is illogical, as he presses a button to show the results. Izuku Midoriya Momo Yaoyorozu Shoto Todoroki Katsuki Bakugo. Minor Mineta, go to Principal Nezu's office. You are expelled, everyone else go to the classroom to collect your timetables, and whatever you want to do for the rest of class. I don't care as long as you don't wake me," Sensei said in his normal monotoned voice. Everyone left, shocked that someone actually got expelled. There can be only one. I thought as I looked towards the yellow-haired pervert. If he doesn't change, I'll destroy him too. Izuku's POV walking back to our class. Some people are somewhat saddened or freaked out about our homeroom teacher. I could have sworn that it was just a logical ruse. Momo contemplated to herself. Hey, it probably was. However, you forgot how Mineta acted throughout the entire exam. Yes, he gave it his all for the practical, but how he acts around ladies would make over half the world's population feel scared. Not by villains, but by himself alone. Also, I talked to the principal before coming to class. He informed me that he expelled an entire class before. I stated, "Well, now that's all out of way, let's get to know each other. I'll start, I'm Mina Ishido. My quirk is acid. And I like to dance and have fun." The alien queen stated, "Seems upbeat and full of energy. But I wouldn't question that she has some insecurities about her appearance." "Hey, I'm Ijiro Kirishima. My quirk is hardening. And I like manly things." The red-hair-dyed teen said, "Black, straight to full-blown red. What happened to you?" "Hi, I'm Mizo Shoji. My quirk is dupli arms. I like training in dogs." Maski said, calm and smart. Insecurities about his appearance, not for himself but for others. "You're looking at the next #1 hero, Katsuki Bakugo." The exploding baby exclaimed, "If I get the chance, I'm totally going to humiliate him. I'm Achiko Uraraka. My quirk is zero gravity. And I like Machi and cute things." The living Machi stated, "She works on basic muscle and stamina training, clearly not aiming to be a top hero at the moment." "I'm Shoto Todoroki." The messed-up Japanese flag stated, "Daddy issues. I am Tenya Ida. I hope we can live up to the prestige of UA." The Robo-Sonic ripoff announced, "Why do I have a feeling that he will do something stupid if given the chance? I'm Mashireo Ojiro. My quirk is tail. And I like training in my family." Plain Boy said, "Most likely hates being called plain." My turn. "Hi, I'm Toru Hagakure. My quirk is invisibility. And I like cute things and hanging out with friends." The sporadic brown-haired girl said, "Oh, she's invisible. That makes sense. I thought she might have some mental-based quirk." "Bonjour, I'm the ever-twinkling Yuga Aoyama. My quirk is the amazing naval laser. I like things that twinkle almost as much as moi," he said, sparkling. "Is he gay or European?" "I'm 𝐒𝐮𝐦𝐸. My quirk is frog. I'm blunt and say what I think." Ribbit, tongue girl stated, "She's going to have fun with mating season, hopefully." "Hi, I'm Denki Kaminari. My quirk is electrification. And I like girls and video games," he said, creating a small charge in his head. He is going to fry himself if he goes over his limit. Also, why do I feel like he's lying when he stated that he likes girls? Hi, I'm 𝐾𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫. My quirk is unwittingly voice. And I like animals. 𝐿𝐮𝐵ean said. I can turn you into an animal of your choice so that you can get F by them. Hey, I'm 𝐻𝗱𝗧𝗟𝗘. My quirk is called tape, even though I wanted it be called flex tape. I like my family and helping out my community. He stated. Note to self. If someone breaks the fourth wall, contact him. Wait, is this breaking the fourth wall now? Who cares? Hi, I'm 𝐾𝐮𝐩𝐸𝐵. My quirk is earphone jack. And I like music. She spoke. Let's not forget 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐵 to that list. She looks at me then quickly looks away. Hello, I'm 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐵𝐿. My quirk is sugar rush. I like baking and sweet things in general. He stated while grabbing a muffin out of his bag. RIP muffin, you probably won't be missed. I'm 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐵𝐿. My quirk is dark shadow. I am the revelry in the dark. He stated as dark shadow swirls around him. If I want to do a emo style, I now know who to go to. Greetings, I'm 𝐿𝐻𝐵𝐿. My quirk is creation. And I like literature and learning new things. She stated whilst creating Russian dolls. You better pray that Nezu doesn't get his hands on you, or else you will die. Hello fellow humans, I'm already regretting this, but who cares? I'm Izuku Midoriya, and my quirk is lustful modification. I enjoy feeding and making others feel satisfied. I said, causing questioning looks to me. Dude, what the hell do you mean by feeding? Denki said, also what's so lustful about your quirk? Surprisingly, Momo questioned. Feeding translates to devour in Latin, and my quirk forces me to consume pleasure and sexual frustration of other as my only sustainable food source. So if you put those two things together, that is what I mean by feeding. I stated, with some of the guys giving me slight disgust from their expressions. Well, you can't change what you are, demon boy. Mina proclaimed. At least that part, appealing eyes. Stated, causing her to blush slightly. I returned to my seat, grabbing the tome Nedza gave me and began to read. Everyone started to make friend groups, no one wanting to befriend me. The friend groups are followed. Uraraka, Ida, Hagakure, Tu and surprisingly Todoroki. The Baku squad, namely they surround Bakugo without his say, Katsuki, Siro, Kirishima, Denki and Mina. The sides, Ojiro, Tokoyami, Koda, Aoyama, Sato and Shoji. The girls' squad being Jiro and Momo, however they are speaking in sign language. Note to self, learn all forms of sign language. The bell rings for the end of classes as everyone is leaving Jiro and Momo comes over to speak to me. Do you mind if we ask you some more questions? Jiro asked. I wonder where this is going. Izuku's POV, I wonder where this is going. I thought whilst packing my bag. Sure, what is this about? I asked. Well, it's about you and your quirk. Jiro stated, causing me to sigh. We were wondering about the modifications part to it. Seeing how your body changed shape, can you only modify your body? If not, is it permanent? Momo continued. My quirk allows me to modify any and all things organic, and depending on what I do it can lead to it becoming permanent. I stated, creating a surprised look on both their faces. My quirk does share a similar issue to yours, Yaoyorozu, where I assume you need to understand the process and structure of the chosen target. You are correct. And if your statement is true, shouldn't you have been in the recommendations? Jiro is simply standing between us, feeling like a third wheel. Yes, I was granted a recommendation, however with my schedule it wouldn't have worked out, so I did normal exam. I said in a saddened voice. Anyway, more questions? Jiro, that was directed at you. You look like a lost puppy. Why yeah, I was wondering if you can help me with my appearance. Jiro stated, whilst covering her blush. Depends, what do you want me to change? I asked questioningly, with Hagakure, Tokoyami and Shoji listening in. It is something I feel guilty asking, but I want to know how it feels to be attractive. So can you make me look attractive? Looking down, slightly hating her appearance. Sighing as I grab her hands. She looks up to me with a curious look, rubbing the rough skin on her hands. If you want to look attractive, you already are. Hands show that you are passionate about something. Music. At that, I use my hand to raise her face towards mine. I can tell you have a appealing smile, that I know some gay people will SW just for you. As she begins to look me straight in the eyes. And I can tell you have a appealing voice. Smirks you can make the whole world and stare for a while, 'cause girl you're amazing just the way you are. That causes her to giggle a little. You think I don't know pre-Quirk era songs? Bruno Mars, just the way you are. Showing a smile that belong in that song. It just show you how unique you are. We live in a world where appearance is everything. Passion, origin of where you came and every skill you pick up on the way, shows you how attractive you are. One rule I have for myself, is to only change a person if they needed it. Like Kaminari, he will fry himself using his quirk, and it's damaging his brain cells when he overuses it. Or some mutation-based quirks that negatively affects their lives. I stated as I begin to rub her cheek. Oh, thanks for at least talking to us. Drew said as I bow and leave. She then spoke when she thought I left my hearing range. How did he know that I played music? Making sure she hear what I say. Because it isn't an instrument, then you have a huge energy. A few days passed, the only classmates that are willing to speak with me are Jairu and Momo. Waiting in class for the teacher of Heroics 101, a large mass of organic material comes running down the hallway. Coming through the door like a normal person. All Might announced, whilst in a funny pose. At least he didn't do it using the other side. Now everyone calm down. In this class you will be learning the fundamentals of being a hero. Sir, what will we be doing today? Ida questioned. At this, All Might pulls out a card that says Combat Training. Leading to Katsuki having a maniacal grin on his face. Now you can't be heroes without costumes. Then pressing a button. Cases begin to rise from the floor. Now get changed and meet me at ground beta. Walking out to get change into my suit. Picture this with a greenish tint to it that fades further away at the gloves and boots, a utility belt similar in design, as well holes to allow for his wings and tail to spread out, and completely out of organic material. You look badass, Izuku. Jairu said, whilst walking up to me. What do you think Momo's hero suit? Pointing out the red skin tight leopard. Still better than Hagakure's. Pointing out the floating gloves. Hey. I worked very HRD on my suit. Hagakure shouted. How are you going to handle the cold? I stated. At least I can run around naked without anyone knowing, unlike you. Ahem. All Might regaining the class attention. Today, we will be doing heroes versus villains. Sir, shouldn't we learn the basics of fighting before doing this? Ribbit, so you countered. This will show me where you guys are at in said basics. I will be splitting you guys into 10 teams of 2, and dash Ida interrupting All Might. Sir, we have 19 students in the class. So we can't have even teams. Also, how we'll be allocating teams? Ida questioned All Might. He took a deep breath in. The teams will be allocated by a draw. And for the unlucky 19 student will be fighting by theirself. Sir, is the reason you are saying this, is because you forgot Aizawa-sensei expelled a student. So you took a note off his notebook. I called out, making All Might sweat a little. Kirishima, Ojiro, Siro and Denki telling me off about how this is All Might and he doesn't make those mistakes. No, young Midoriya is correct. Shutting up the outraged students. Heroes at the end of the day are still humans. We all must learn from those mistakes and continue pushing ourselves to be better. That's what it means to go beyond plus ultra. Everyone gaining a deeper respect from the symbol of peace. So, Recovery Girl is finally getting common sense into you. Izuku's POV, now time to separate you into teams. All Might states as begins the randomization process. Battles are heroes Katsuki Bakugo and Toru Hagakure versus villains Denki Kaminari and Izuku Midoriya, heroes Yuga Aoyama and Mina Ishido versus villains Momo Yaoyorozu and Eijiro Kirishima, heroes Shoto Todoroki versus villains Rikido Sato and Hantashiro, heroes Fumikage Tokoyami and Mizo Shoji versus villains Achiko Uraraka and Masahiro Ojiro, heroes Tenya Ida and Koji Koda versus villains Tsuyu Azui and Kyoka Jiro. Well, this isn't going to help my case. I state, watching Katsuki fueled with maniacal joy. Now that is all settled, Denki Kaminari and Izuku Midoriya, you have 5 minutes to set up before the heroes are released. All Might explained. After placing the bomb on the 4th floor, Kaminari spoke up. So do you have a plan? Yes. First fix you, second you stay here and protect the bomb while I go and eliminate heroes. I stated. Fix me. Stay here as you do all the work. Something tells me that Bakugo won't go down without a fight, and we can't see 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿. He fired back. She won't be an issue for you if I eliminate her before she reaches here. If Bakugo comes up, you can knock him out. As for fixing you, I mean it. You fry your brain when you overuse it, I can fix it so that your lifespan is greater than 25 years old. I bluntly explained, whilst holding out my hand. Do you want me to fix you? At that he grabs my hand, pulsating a greenish-pink energy throughout him. Well, man, is this how it feels to go big brain? Kaminari states, feeling the lightning flowing through him. No, just one leap on the right path. Next step is to teach you how easy science is, primarily physics and computer science though. I say. Anyway, time to have fun. Pointing to the earpiece as All Might says start. Eri rewind the time. No one's POV in the observation room. Hey, does anyone know who's going to win? Mina says, jumping around like a 5-year-old on coffee. It's got to be heroes, seeing how they have someone invisible on their team. Ida states, whilst karate chopping the air. Mostly everyone there agreeing with him. I'm putting my bet on villain team. Jiro announces. Why them? Achiko ponders. The key player in this matchup is Izuku. She states. Izuku. Mina teases, causing her to blush. Jiro is correct. If everything plays out correctly, villain teams win. The only way this battle will go for the heroes is if the villain team makes a mistake. Momo states, confusing everyone except Jiro and All Might. Young Yaoyorozu is correct. Young Midoriya could have taken the recommendation exam. However, refused due to it not fitting on his schedule. All Might states, piquing the attention of the multicolored hair boy. Hero team, you may enter. On ground beta. Bakugo rushes inside, outpacing her and eventually leaving her. Stopping only to hear her scream behind him, rushing back to see gloves on the ground. Looking around to try and find something. Kaken. Echoed throughout the floor, Katsuki rushing over to the room where it originated to see. Replace the feet cuffs with shoes and the other cuffs with the capture tape. Note this can only be seen from Izuku's POV. Man, I love this story. PSI replaced the image, Bakugo. 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿 questioned, realizing the position that she's in. Began tossing around. Get me down, I don't want to be a sec SLV. Bakugo huffs as he walks forward. Only to be stopped by a kick to the face and into a wall. Well, that was easy to lure. Izuku states as he returns visible. Wait, you can go invisible. 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿 shouts. Monkey see, monkey do. Monkey can see you. He says, looking her straight in the eyes. And I don't need to take my clothes off to do it. She completely stops moving. What the hell did you do to me? Katsuki said as his proportions have changed. Wait, did you turn me into a girl? Now she squeaked. The clothes on her barely fit, only the new waistline and BRST size keeping it together. Yes, I did. As Izuku began to take photos. Your mother even signed a permission letter for me to do this. Sending Mitsuki the photos. Now if you destroy my phone, she has a copy of them. Son of a Fing slot. I'm going to kill you. She yelled, creating small explosions. What? Why is my explosions weaker? They aren't, it's you who can't properly use your quirk. Also, I didn't hear your mum complaining when we last met up. He said, as Katsuki charges at Izuku. Launching a weak right hook, with Izuku catching it and pinning her to the ground face down. Time to end this, Katsumi. Grabbing the capture tape and just about to bind her. Izuku's POV, hero team wins. Denki Kaminari has destroyed the bomb. All Might announced, causing me to take a deep breath in. Getting up and untying 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿's binds. OIBSRD. Change me back. Katsumi commands. Checking my phone to see a text from his mum saying. Leave him, her like that till he returns home. Sorry, your mother says to leave you like that, I said as I disappear into the shadows, infuriating her. Returning to the bomb to collect Kaminari. But you instinctively go into that state when you fry yourself. Seriously. As I see this, I tap on his forehead, then he returns back to life. Yo, what happened? Why do I feel so drained? I point to behind him to a fried bomb. Yeah, I did that. Sorry. No, it's my fault. I was able to finish the elimination of the heroes faster, meaning you wouldn't have a chance. I state as I walk away, earning his respect. Returning back to the observation room, majority of the guys are blushing based on how Katsumi looks in slightly larger clothing. Bro, that's not very manly of you. Kirishima states, shaking his head. I thought you said you don't alter some based on appearance. Jiro calling me out. This is what Katsuki would look like if he was a she. I just changed his gender. Also Kirishima, define manly. This caused both Jiro and Kirishima to have a mental breakdown. Can I talk to you after class? Hagakure asked. Izuku's POV, can we talk after class? Hagakure asked. Sure. I smiled, looking at her being completely flustered. Why is Ojiro looking at me like that? Does he have a crush on Hagakure? I'll help him hook up with her if he wants and if she wants. Next match, villain team wins. Momo with Kirishima breaking parts of the building, allowed Momo to redirect Aoyama's naval laser to destroy both the ceiling and floor onto them. Momo got MVP for the match. Todoroki both a show of power and completely boring, freezing the entire building and then touching the bomb. In this time Kirishima gave his definition of manly, which if he is not care it could become toxic. Tokoyami and Shoji won their match, being able to outclass the villain team in strength. Dark Shadow grappling Uraraka as Tokoyami wraps the capture tape on her, where Shoji was able to reach out and touch the bomb when fighting Ojiro. Jiro literally dropped the beat as she breaks the floor, trapping Ida. As Tsuyu knocks out Koda, but the way she did it caused was quite ruthless, much to Katsumi's joy. All Might tells me to turn Katsuki back and dismisses the class as we all go to the changing rooms. Me trying to leave quickly, I got changed first and begin to walk to Midnight's office, only to stop when I hear one of my classmates. Third-person boys' locker room, finally that Arpisti is out. Shocking Izuku that Ojiro said that. Come on dude. He's helpful, he even improved my quirk. Kaminari defended Izuku. Are you able to tell the difference, bro? Kirishima asked. For all we know, he could be lying about that part of his quirk. Also, he targeted me about being manly. Yes, I can tell dash. Oh, I actually can't tell the difference. Kaminari trying to figure out himself. The only abilities that he has shown is altering his body and being able to turn guys into girls. Ida has interjected, getting a few, yeah, from most of the guys. Deku came from a slot, and because of that he became one. Bakugo states with Ojiro agreeing with him. Izuku makes a loud sigh, inaudible to them as they continue to talk SHT about him. Girls' locker room, Jiro facepalms. Hey Kyuko, are you okay? Momo asks. The idiot guys are talking SHT about Midoriya behind his back. How dash? Said before Uraraka interrupted her. I don't blame them, he literally uses girls as food and has the ability to turn guys into girls. She states. Agreed. Ribbit, Tsuyu pipes in. We don't know how many girls he manipulated so that he can feed. Ribbit, honestly I feel a bit conflicted by this topic. I agree with what Uraraka is saying, but that's like how people judge me based on how I look. We can't change what we're born with, and shouldn't judge people for it. Mina said, looking down at her hands. The ability that can allow people to understand themselves dash. Hagakure began speaking, only for Uraraka to cut her off. So he can use you? With a confused look on her face. If you want to be used, go ahead, but don't drag me into it. Jiro still being able to hear everything the guys are saying, only for to block it out when she heard crying. A voice echoes from that direction. Jiro, can you tell Hagakure that I'll need a rain check on whatever she wanted to ask me? Izuku said. Sure. Jiro said, shocking Uraraka. You want to be used by Izuku? With disgust in her voice, as the sound of running footsteps leave Jiro's hearing range. 𝐻𝐵𝐵𝐾. Izuku wanted me to tell you that he is putting your questions on hold. Jiro said, confusing the majority of the girls. Izuku has the best hearing in our class, with me second and 𝐮𝐻𝐸 third. And Izuku heard everything. Boys' locker room. Hey Tokoyami and 𝐮𝐻𝐸, why aren't you joining in? Jiro questioned, causing everyone to look at them. He is a being of the dark. We both fight our own demons with my being literal, as for his being one. Tokoyami stated with half of them rolling their eyes. Then what about you, extra? Bakugo barked. I understand having a quirk that everyone you consider a curse. Also I don't talk 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐸 behind people's backs. 𝐮𝐻𝐸 states, turning his head to the wall that's separating to the girls. What, do you hear something on the girls' side? Kaminari questioned. If you hear Midoriya raping them, we should immediately stop him. Ida said, chopping the air in front of him. 𝐮𝐻𝐸 begins to massage his temples. No, it's what Jiro said. So I was correct. Izuku was listening in and heard everything. Serves that slot right. Bakugo explodes into laughter. Izuku's POV. I run into class and placing my costume on the rack, grabbing my stuff and leaving the school grounds. Passing Aizawa as he was about call my name, I flied away. Uncaring of any consequences that may follow me, being an issue for future me to deal with. Landing at my front door, I open the door to just about to leave. Hi honey. You shouldn't be home till later, what's wrong? Mum said as I pull her into a hug crying. Did something happen at school? Why? Why do they judge me behind my back for something I can't control? As I drain Mum of her energy. Because they don't understand, and people naturally hate what they don't understand. They are jealous of something that they don't have, but you do. So Izuku, please simply be a better person than anyone who pushes you down, and then you can find people who deserve you. As she begins to rub the tears off my eyes. Quickly get some spare clothes. You can give free massages at my work, I can tell you used your quirk today. Third-person teacher's lounge, the bioengineered principal and All Might sits on the lounge drinking some tea as they waiting for Midoriya. I should have asked Midoriya to meet us in here before dismissing class, correct? All Might questioned. It would have been preferable, however Aizawa should be able to get him. The principal stated taking a sip of tea. Aizawa walks in, I wasn't able to get the problem child. He flew away. The sleep-deprived teacher stated. Wait, why did he do that? I have a therapy session with him in 10 minutes. Midnight pouted as she crossed her arms. He seemed troubled about something, also like he was crying recently. Aizawa said while entering his sleeping bag. The door knocked. Come in. The door opens as Jiro and 𝐮𝐻𝐸 enter. How may we help? Nezu asked. Izuku's POV. Walking into school today, a mass of reporters swarms me and other students. I was close to entering the school grounds until one female reporter stands in front of me and asked me multiple questions about All Might. Can you tell us anything about how All Might is as a teacher? She requested. I sigh, going into my bag and handed her a card, completely embarrassing her as I walk away. Hey Mary, what did that kid give you? One of the reporters asked. He gave me a card to a sex shop, but this one is the international company 𝐻𝐵𝐵𝐾. Their slogan is, we give you the tools, so that you can F off. I walk past Aizawa, who seemed to be headed over to pull out the rest of the students. Midoriya. Principal Nezu and All Might wishes to speak with you. Head over to the principal's office. He stated in his normal monotone. I slightly bow and walk away. Knocking at the principal's door, I await my impending doom. You may enter. A voice echoed out. Walking inside, I see All Might and the principal seating on the couch with flies of students spread across the coffee table. Ah, Mr. Midoriya. Please take a seat. The human-created monster said. We tried to get you yesterday, however you left the school grounds before we had the chance. Sorry for that, I just had a lot on my mind. I apologized, rubbing the nape of my neck. No need to apologies, young Midoriya. Some of your classmates informed us about what happened in the changing room. I flinch slightly when All Might says that. Let's place a pin on that conversation. You are here to talk about who would be a good candidate for OFA in your class. 𝐻𝐻𝐸 directs the conversation. Depends on what type of hero. You are looking for the next symbol of peace. We can rule out a majority of the class. The only ones that would fit are Momo, Shoji, or Mina. I stated. Why not Todoroki, Bakugo, or Kirishima? This is under the assumption that they fix their attitude. All Might questioned. For Todoroki, he is already top 10 material and can become the next symbol of peace without the OFA. Also, Todoroki left before me yesterday, so the attitude he needs to fix in the demons within himself. Kirishima is downplaying himself and his quirk. Also, I'm uncertain if the OFA will work well with his quirk. Flowing energy in a hardened object will cause it to heat up and break, and this user will face a different issue that faced All Might. I state most the pros nodding in agreeance. What do you mean different issue? 𝐻𝐻𝐸 pondered. From what I see, the stockpiling function of OFA is hitting its limit, meaning it will most likely release it, and that could manifest in two possible ways. One is pushing energy out like crazy, meaning anyone who has a quirk that alters their physical capabilities will explode. Secondly is more of a theory. Seeing how it's a quirk that passes itself down, then it should pass down a part of that user's quirk as well. If that's the case, then the user will gain multiple quirks. This causes All Might to lean back and rub his face. If it is the first one, Katsuki Bakugo would be a possible choice to pass OFA down to. What is your reasoning for not choosing him? 𝐻𝐻𝐸 inquired. He already has the potential to be top 10, and if you don't account for his attitude, he would be one of the best choice. However, his attitude is the greatest factor for why he shouldn't have it. He needed therapy ever since he gave me this scar. As I begin to rub the part of the scar on my cheek. Before you ask, it happened over 8 years ago and I don't really want to talk about it. So why did you choose those 3 in particular, young Midoriya? All Might questions while looking at their flies. They all are becoming heroes for similar reason as you did, to help people the right reasons. Shoji is able to create surface area to handle the power, even though he will difficulty with his appearance. Mina has a similar issue, but she quite energetic to counter that. Momo has the intelligence and 𝐒𝐮𝐸𝐴 the looks to become easily popular, she just needs the support. I explain, with the pros understanding what I'm saying. The issue with those choices is how to explain how new abilities are showing up on them. 𝐻𝐻𝐸 stated. Oh wait. That issue is with every student here. Blame it on me. I state as both of them gives me a confused look. If Mina or Momo is chosen, then we can state that their quirk interacted with my in a weird way, awakening dormant possibilities of their quirk. This can work for any girl or guy who 𝐒𝐮𝐩𝐸𝐵 that way. Are you sure about this? All Might states with a concerned look. If that is the case, then based off of what you said and what I've seen in our class, I'll ask young Yaoyorozu if she wishes to have OFA. I shake my hand in agreeance. Well, now that it's all settled, All Might please escort Mr. Midoriya to class. We will ask Miss Yaoyorozu after school, Principal 𝐻𝐻𝐸𝐴 states, as both All Might and I leave. What anarchy is happening in class? Izuku's POV. All Might and I are in front of class, with the former knocking on the door and opening it. Sorry for young Midoriya's absence. He was with the principal and I dash. I don't care. Midoriya, go to your seat and get your equipment set, you're 5 minutes behind. Aizawa bluntly stated, causing All Might to flinch. I quickly follow instructions, fearing his wrath. Can someone recap Midoriya of what we are discussing? Momo raises her hand as no one else does. Kaminari, explain or you're expelled. Sensei's eyes glow red. Why yes, sensei? Kaminari sputters as he turns to face me. We have been told off about discriminating someone based on parental occupation and quirk type and how its laws are in place for said discrimination. We were just to talk about why society treats SEC quirks poorly, and the name Asmodeus just appeared, which you already know who that is based on your reaction. He states as I plant my face into my hands, and surprising Aizawa how detailed the recap was. There is chance that I'm related to him. Asmodeus was and slightly still is the second most dangerous villain in the world, raping women across the world and murdering heroes that got in the way. All Might should be here, he was in his teens when he was at large. I state, as the majority of the class gives me disgusting looks towards me. What the hell do mean, was and slightly still is. Bakugo shouted. It means that villain disappeared. He wasn't caught, but he abruptly stopped. Aizawa stated, leaving a sober mood in the class. Let's leave this topic for later. Right now you need to make an important decision that'll affect the rest of your time in UA. Everyone begins to panic internally as Sensei reopens his mouth. You need to assign your class representatives. Everyone taking a breath out. Most of the outgoing types begin to sprout out how they should get the spot. Everyone, we should do it as a vote, so that we can do this effectively. Ida announced, readjusting his glasses. Won't we all vote for ourselves? Mina questioned. That'll just mean that the one who is chosen is the best choice. I pipe up, causing a few looks towards me. Fine, just hurry it up. Aizawa states, while slightly getting annoyed by losing nap time. A few moments as the votes are done. Winning with 7 votes Momo Yaoyorozu. As well as shared tie for second, Izuku Midoriya and Tenya Ida at 6 votes. As Momo, Ida and I stand at the front. We will have another vote for vice rep after lunch. During lunch Momo, Jiro, Tokoyami, Shoji, Denki and Hagakure sit at the same table with me. Midoriya. Do you mind if I ask you something? Hagakure spoke. Sure, what do you want to know? I responded. Are you able to make me visible? Just for a moment. She pondered. Sure, pass me your phone. She complies as her body becomes visible. Snapping a picture on the same phone and stopping what I was doing. A photo lasts longer. As I hand her back her phone. 10 points to Hufflepuff if you know why her. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hagakure begins to jump in her seat. You're welcome. Now that's done, is there anything you guys want to discuss? I questioned. Yes, sorry dude. Kaminari said, slightly looking down. When you turned your back dash. You defended it. Yes, you completely crumble, but you tried. That's all I can ask for. Bro face with tears of joy. Kaminari said, clearly possessed. Someone hits the back of my head. As I turn around I see a blonde looking at me. Sorry for hitting Class 1A trash. Class 1B is far Gria dash. The guy began to spout nonsense as he collapses to the ground spazzing. I jump over my seat and go to his side, along with a girl with orange hair. Monoma, I swear if this is some kind of sick joke. The girl said. Wait, I recognize this. Miss, does he have some sort of copy quirk? The girl shook her head in affirmance. I place my hand onto his chest and flow some of my energy into him, as he slowly stops with his spazzing. He copied my quirk and all the issues that come with it. Do you mind joining to the nurse's office? I say, pick the loud blonde up. Sure. She said as we walk away. My name is Itsuka Kendo, the recently appointed class rep of Class 1B, Izuku Midoriya, possible vice rep for Class 1A. I state, confusing her slightly. We tried and going to re-vote. Relieving her slightly. Without any time at all, Kendo knocks on the nurse's office. Recovery girl permitted us to enter, gaining a concerned look on her face. He copied my quirk and spazzed out. She sighs and directs me to an empty bed. I'm curious, how come he spazzed and you aren't? Kendo questioned. He is capable of copying the quirk, not what has been stored. I state, looking at him as stirs awake. I'm correct, right? Unfortunately. Monoma states as Kendo punches his arm. Oh, what was that for? For doing something so stupid. Kendo huffs. I'm curious now, why are you so fixated on setting your superiority on my class? Because I bet 1A is full of egotistical idiots who thinks that they will become the best heroes because they are stronger. Monoma announced, causing Kendo to facepalm. I can tell you how you can surpass a majority my class. This causes both Class 1B students to look up at me. Always try and sympathize and empathize with everyone you meet. Understanding how the shoe fits on someone else. How the hell will that make me better than your class? Monoma slightly annoyed. Yeah, I don't understand. Kendo being confused. My quirk is a sec quirk. The majority of my class discriminates against something I have no control over. I state, silencing them. Monoma is what Kendo called you, correct? Your quirk allows you to walk in other's footsteps by using their quirk. So if you learn to at the very least sympathize, you'll be able to rise people to be their best. If you empathize, you'll be the best hero you can be. Someone who is limited by the people who you surround yourself with should build a community to benefit everyone. That's how you surpass my class, not by starting unnecessary fights. A few moments pass as her alarm begins to blare. Recovery girl headed to her computer and checked the camera feed, seeing that the media has just got in. It's just the media, however you all need to head to your classrooms. She said, all of us agreeing, and returned to your classes. I turned to Monoma. I'll think about what you said. I smile. That's all I can ask for. Also, my name is Izuku Midoriya. Nito Monoma. Giving a slight bow, Kendo began smiling. All right, now for the votes. Aizawa stated as he counts the votes. Ida win vice rep with 10 votes as Midoriya has 9. The ones who voted for Ida began cheering for him, only for them to be stopped by Aizawa. Momo Yaoyorozu and Izuku Midoriya, Principal Nedzu wishes to speak with you too. Follow me, Ida, you're in charge until I or Yaoyorozu return. Izuku's POV, do I really need to be here? Aizawa questioned, looking at the loud blonde and the rodent. The principal said, whilst taking a sip of tea. Let's get this over and done with. As he enters his sleeping bag. Young Yaoyorozu, I would like to make you an offer. All Might said, as he begins talk about OFA and the legacy he wishes to hand to her. Taking a few seconds to process this information, Momo spoke. I'm honored, however why me? Why not Izuku, who seems to already knows? I already refused the quirk, because I feared that it negatively affect me. I feed off of energy at the end of the day, and OFA is a energy stockpiling quirk. My quirk could consume it. I state, looking down at my hand. If that's the case, why are you here? Sensei said, looking at me. If Momo suddenly appears with an ability that doesn't even relate to her original quirk, how would you explain it? I stated. The best way to explain it is by stating it a cause of two quirks reacting with one another. I am the willing scapegoat. I hope you realize that most people will think that you two had SEC, and that rumor will cause major issues for your careers as pro heroes. Aizawa bluntly stated, knowing how he is right. Then make it into a reality. Momo said, causing everyone to stare at her. It's my choice, isn't it? Are you sure? I don't want it to be forced upon Dash. All Might worried, only for him to be cut off by her. I won't accept it unless Izuku has SEC with me. She states. Midnight has already rubbed off on you. Aizawa stated. However, this deal now needs Midoriya to accept. Midoriya. Everyone turns to me. Why, I'm fine with it. Trying to recover from my embarrassment. Good then. Young Yaoyorozu, are you ready to accept OFA? All Might said, looking at her in the eyes. Yes, sir. She countered. Good. Eat this. As he pulls out a piece of his hair. Yaoyorozu shouted as she begrudgingly eats it. Now it should take a while for it to digest. All Might informs, while stands up in disgust. Well, it's time for us to leave then. Are you coming, Izuku? Yaoyorozu stated as she grabs my hand and pulls me away. I think we should head to your place. I don't want one of my maids to walk in. Sure, I just need to text my mum that you'll be with me. I state as I proc to do so. You should inform your parents too. Already done. As she places her phone back into her bag, guiding me to a completely tinted, black car. Wallace, do you mind taking us Midoriya's house? Very well, miss. Are you two dating? I thought I'll be the first to know. He teased as he begins to drive us off, whilst Momo began blushing in embarrassment. It's not like that, Wallace. Momo shouted as she covers her burning red face. So it's like something then. That caused me to chuckle and Momo to pout. Anyway, we're here. Stopping in front of my house. Should I question why you know where I live? I pondered. Plot convenience. He answered, deciding on not to question it. I guide Momo inside. Your house very cozy, Momo said, while looking around. Due to having a more complicated lifestyle, my mum decided that we should live in a more simpler house. Taking her to my room. Why don't you have a normal bed? Also, what's with the chemistry set in your room? Momo questioned as I 𝐒𝐮𝐲𝐫𝐭 the couch into a bed. I rarely sleep because of my quirk, and the chemistry set is a little project I'm working on. As I walk behind her, placing one arm around her waist as the other began to remove her tie. Best thing I can tell you to do is focus on yourself. Okay, Momo stated as she helps removing her clothes. We don't know how many girls he manipulated so that he can feed. Ribbit. Ajui's voice echoed throughout my mind. Kissing Momo's neck as I flow a bit of my energy within her, allowing it to pulsate in her. Removing her blazer and button-up shirt, I turn her around to see Momo's blushed face, trying to keep her breath under control. Appealing. All I could say as I pull her into a deep French kiss. Guiding my hand down her figure, I unzip her skirt and allowed it to fall onto the ground. Pining her onto the bed and pulling away from the kiss, I see Momo completely out of breath and wearing matching black underwear with white polka dots as well as black knee-high socks. Your clothes. Momo huffed as she undoes my tie. Smiling, I take a step back and began removing my clothes. This with horns and wings. The only remaining article of clothing left on me was my boxers. Watching Momo take a sharp, deep breath in as her BR pops off. I giggle as she throws it away. From the bridge of her foot, I began kissing up her legs. Sending sparks of energy throughout her, reaching to her completely soaked panties. Pulling them slightly harder onto her entrance as one long large lick up with surging energy within her, a massive orgasm explodes as she arches her entire body. As she begins to calm down. With my mouth, I slowly pull off her panties, skiing on them as I watch Momo at this new angle. Her eyes glued onto mine, while I crawl up to her. With all her strength, she raises her hand to toss the undies away, only for her to realize that I took off mine while I move my lips over her ear. Are you ready? I questioned, grasping one of our hands together. Wait. PPL please see, she barely expressed. With that, I glide my PP into her. While she familiarizes herself with the new experience, my other hand began massaging her thigh to help relieve some of the strain. As her hips buckling, I slowly started moving, pulsating energy within her every hit. As the pace increases, Momo slowly began glowing as rainbow-colored sparkles spread across her body. 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐸 God. I'm about 𝐶𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐵𝐭. She sputtered out, unable to keep a straight face while desperately tries to hold on for longer. Phew-cuck. As both of us orgasm at the same time, knocking her out. I usually last longer than that dash. As I pass out next to her. Izuku's POV, hello there. A familiar voice said, whilst opening my eyes. So I'm back into the OFA mindscape. I questioned. Correct. As I look at him. Trying to move my body, as this weird energy is stopping me. Seems like you have no idea how to move around in a person's mindscape. Allow me to teach you. The white-haired guy said. Thank you, but why are you helping me? I'm not one of your successors, also I'm like an invader in here. So why? I questioned. As he sighs, you have the capacity equal and greater than my brother AFO, and that is the reason for how you are able to enter here. As well, both of us agree that quirks will continue to grow stronger until they hit quirk singularity, and you are one of the few people who can stop it. What you said about OFA quirk factor is mostly correct, with only thing wrong is that any person with a quirk would have been destroyed. He stated as fear flows through me. I could have been the factor to Momo's death. Tears begin to fall from my eyes, from that realization. You can't change the past, but you can change the future. Momo is still alive because of you preparing her body by flowing energy within her, even though it wasn't on purpose. The last reason for why I'm helping you is because you took a path that I wished my brother did. He said as he wipes the tears off my face. Anyway, time for you to learn. I hesitantly agree. Momo's POVing as I stupor out of my slumber, noticing an unfamiliar weight confusing me. Prying my eyes open, I see Izuku laying on me sleeping and using one of his wings as a blanket for me. He looks so cute when he sleeps. Should I wake him? Desh, I thought as the door knocks. Izuku. Is everything alright in there? A feminine voice spoke from behind the door. I quickly got up and created myself a silk red bathrobe with black lace trim on it, tying it on and answered the door. This is what it looks like. Opening the door I spoke. Sorry, Izuku is asleep. A female with green hair woman in a business's outfit standing in front of the door. Is it gay that I find her attractive? Wait, is this Izuku's mum? Izuku's asleep. Please move out of my way, she said as she moves me to the side. Looking over at Izuku, she quickly goes straight to his closet and grabs a blanket and covers him. Izuku, what did you do? As her hand glows while touching him, moving some of the stray hairs on his face. Izuku made as he pushes his face deeper into her hand, slowly opening his eyes. Can I sleep for 5 more minutes, Mum? In a groggy voice. And what about your guest? She inquired, fully waking him up. Also, you have to tell me how you got yourself into this position. His face saddens at that response. It's about what your classmates said, wasn't it? Are you sure your quirk doesn't let mind read? He said, creating a saddened smile. Well then, you can hop into the shower first while I make breakfast for myself and… I'm sorry, we haven't been introduced. I'm Izuku's mother, 𝐮𝐻𝐭 Midoriya. You are. She introduced herself. I'm 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐸, pleasure to meet you. Wait, did you say breakfast? I quickly questioned. Yes, I did. It's 4:30 in the morning. 𝐮𝐻𝐭 announced, shocking me. Anyway, when you get out of the shower, you can give us a massage. As she pats Izuku on the head, as I slightly move my body around. That would be lovely, seeing how it feels like my body is about to explode. I state as he quickly turns to me with a worried look. During the time Izuku is in the shower, his mother and I got our clothes cleaning and breakfast made. So Mrs. Midoriya, can I ask you something? I asked. Certainly, and please call me 𝐮𝐻𝐿. She stated, looking at me. Very well. 𝐮𝐻𝐿, why were you so worried that Izuku was sleeping? A concerned look formed on my face. The SEC quirk factor for his quirk came from me. The only time we can sleep is when we are low on energy. For me that's a huge plus, but for him it's one greatest indicator of something bad. If he sleeps and doesn't get any energy within him, he will die. She said, quickly making me feel deeply concerned. Shouldn't he be full of energy then? We had SEC that should filled him up. Unless if I'm not gesh. I questioned, as 𝐮𝐻𝐿 cuts me off from thinking negative thoughts. Stop it. It's not you, it's him. Out of all the insecurities he could have, the concept of him using others to survive is the one he got. It was an issue that he barely got over the first time, and now it reappeared from what I assume your classmates said. She stated while serving breakfast. I didn't even realize that he was insecure about that. He always acts like he has thick skin, only showing his true colors when someone targets him through dragging you into it. I state, only for 𝐮𝐻𝐿 to sigh while taking a seat. He has years of experience of hiding himself and his true emotions. She looks down at her plate. Anyway, let's eat before the food gets cold. Saying it in a more upbeat tone. Hopefully you can find a sliver lining to that insecurity, Izuku. Izuku's POV. After giving both Mum and Momo a massage, I begin cleaning up the massage equipment, dishes and the clothing in my room. Both of them hopping into the shower, while I sit down at my desk and began studying. Finishing off the work allocated for me by Nezu, Momo walks in school uniform. Hey Izuku, do you mind if I do my homework here? Sure. Actually I haven't done my homework yet, so we can both do it together. I said, going to my bag and grabbing the notebooks from yesterday. Then what were you working on just a minute ago? She questioned, whilst taking out her notebooks. That is work to make me a licensed SEC therapist. I state, making her have more questions. SEC therapists are exempt from the FRNCTN laws, between adults and minors if a sex quirk is involved. If I become a licensed SEC therapist, then I'm exempt from those laws. Momo shaking her head in understanding. Oh, here you go. Handing the broken BR to her. Thank you. We both slightly giggle to this. Do you mind keeping the other set of my clothes here? Sure, however you may want to replace the BR, I state, as she pulls out a new BR with the same design. That works. I don't like making clothing or items when I should be buying them. Nod in affirmance. Completing our homework, we used the remaining time to simply talk, laugh, and enjoying each other's company. Only stopping when Mum told us the time, making us grab our things and head to school. Entering class and taking our seats, Mr. 𝐒𝐮𝐲𝐫𝐭 takes his spot on the podium. Today we will be going off campus for specialized training. He blandly stated. Excuse me, sir, but what type of training? 𝐶𝐮𝐻 questioned, with Sensei lifting up a card that says, Rescue. Rescue training. You are allowed to wear your hero costumes, however you may have issues with mobility. He states, as our hero suits rise from the ground. Also, Momo Yaoyorozu and Izuku Midoriya. You two need to write a 1,000-word essay about how the interaction of quirks and how they can have a positive and negative response. Yes, sir. We both said at the same. What did you two do? 𝐻𝐮𝐻𝐽 questioned. Our quirks interacted in a way that I didn't see, leading to Momo's quirk factor to grow. I state as most of the class either is giving a sympathetic look to Momo or giving me death stares. Before anyone could talk, 𝐒𝐮𝐲𝐫𝐭 interjected. What happened between them is none of your concern. Everyone go get changed and meet me outside next to the buses. With the class begrudgingly accepting, everyone changes into their costumes. Hopping onto the bus without issue. Thank you, Momo. Seating next to me is Momo. If any of you wakes me up, you'll be expelled. 𝐒𝐮𝐲𝐫𝐭 threatened. Hey guys. Who do guys think has the strongest quirk? Mina energetically said. Well, the main contenders are Yaoyorozu, Midoriya, Bakugo, Todoroki, and Tokoyami. Karo, 𝐶𝐮𝐻 stated, placing a finger on her cheek. However, if Midoriya runs out of energy, he loses. 𝐻𝐻𝐽𝐻 points out, with most people agreeing. I'm able to gain energy from my opponents, and it's extremely easy to destroy quirks. Everyone goes quiet. Why, you're joking, right? Uraraka asked. No. The BSRD has a notebook with a virus that can destroy quirks. Bakugo stated, fear begins to show on everyone. Well, besides people who trust me. Bakugo, do you really think I'm that stupid to keep a world-destroying virus in a notebook? Giving him a puzzled look, to relieve people suddenly. Well, okay. Mina trying to change the mood. Hey, Izuku. Can you tell me what you did to me for the combat training? Kaminari asked. Oh, I just balanced your quirk manifestation across your body instead around your brain. He gives me the no-brain look. Your quirk forms cells that work like batteries, and those cells absorb electricity from your nervous system. Where they were around your brain made it when empty, they pull energy out of your brain, making it so that you can do nothing. While being full, they add static to your thinking, making you dumber than humanly possible. 𝐻𝐻𝐽𝐻 begins to laugh at Denki. Your quirk made you dumber than you already are. 𝐻𝐻𝐽𝐻 trying her hardest not to roll on the ground. No, his quirk manifested where the most electricity flows through. Meaning he practically stayed inside and play video games. Denki was about to challenge my statement, but stops himself because he knows I'm right. So now on the more important topic. Mina said, whilst rubbing her hands. Are you two dating? Both of you have been holding hands with each other this entire time. Pointing out how Momo and I are holding hands. I3, me becoming a stuttering mess, as both of us blush profusely. Momo being the first one to speak properly out of us. No. Limiting him to me would affect his chances of being the best hero he can be. Also, we haven't spoken about it yet. Momo stated, as I look at her with a small smile forming. So you want to be used by him? Even though he destabilized your quirk? Ida questioned as my smile fades. My quirk isn't unstable. It's growing, meaning that I'll have what could be described as multiple quirks. This shocking everyone. Finally, point to me an example of him using people. The amount of girls he's had SEC with. Uraraka said. 3 people I've had SEC with. Midnight being my first, meaning I've only begun having SEC recently. Shutting up Uraraka, and caused most of the guys to get jealous. Well then, the combat training. 𝐻𝐻𝐽𝐻 stated. Improved Kaminari, gave me a chance to see myself and, if I remember correctly, told 𝐒𝐿𝐵𝐿 that he isn't using his quirk properly. 𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐿 stated, "Why are you still wearing that costume, Toru? You know I can see you." I state, making people realize that for me, she's simply a naked girl in gloves and shoes. "Well, lucky for you then, huh?" As she slightly shakes her body. "Everyone shut it. We're here." Izuku's POV. As everyone jumps out of the bus, we all walk inside the massive structure to see a person wearing a white puffy out waiting for us. OMG! It's the space hero, 13. Uraraka expounded whilst trying to keep her fangirling to a minimum. "Hello students, welcome to the Unforeseen Simulation Joint, also known as the USJ. Spreading her arms out to the glory of this building, so exactly like Universal Studios, Japan. Everyone thought. Now, I have a few things that I would like to say before we begin. Maybe 4, or 5, or 6. The mood slowly dulls. Oh, by the way, where is All Might?" she asked. "Stuck in traffic." 𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐿 stated. Jump cut to All Might in a car with heavy traffic. This exercise was designed for 2 teachers anyway, so we can still continue. 13 said, turning her attention back to the class. "So does anyone here knows what my quirk is?" "Your quirk is called Black Hole. It allows you to SCK up derby and turning it to dust." Uraraka stated, uncaring of putting her hand up. "Yes, but it can easily kill people if given to the wrong hands." All the smiles disappear. "In this class you'll be learning how to save lives even with lethal quirks. Whoa, they even have fake villains, cool." Kirishima stated, pointing to the misty portal as villains walk out. "Most notable villains are a bioengineered monster bird thing, and man that has his family's hands on him. Those are real villains. Denki, try and get a signal to main campus. 13 protect the students." Aizawa commanded as he rushes down to the villain. "Ida, run to main campus now." I stated as while throwing him out of the USJ. "Hello there, young heroes. If our intel is correct, All Might should be here. Can you tell me where he is?" The dark mist villain questioned as he appears. "There should be 20 of you, not, but then again, Eraserhead does have the tendency to expel students. You can tell he is grinning even without a mouth. Rude, you haven't even told us who you guys are." I called out, making shocked faces on my classmates. "My apologies, I'm 𝐾𝐮𝐩𝐸 from the League of Villains. And I shall send you to your doom," he said, opening portals under us all. Falling through the mist, I hear something in this villain's mindscape. "Help me." Before I could question the voice, a cold sensation covers me. Drowning in the water, my body instantly forms gills to breath as my wings fade away. Looking around, I see Mina almost about get eaten by a shark villain. Rushing over, both Tsuyu and I both smash this villain in the head at the same time, and I kick him lower into the water as Tsuyu takes her to the boat with me following. On the boat, both of the girls look at me with an angry glare. "Why did you antagonize the villain?" It was either gain information of who is attacking or allow Bakugo and Kirishima attack the villain and the same result would happen. I state, looking at them. At the very least we got Ida out of the USJ without the villains knowing about it, and if he goes to main campus now we will get pro heroes out here as soon as possible. Come down girlies, all we want to do is play. The villains began to surround the boat. Leave that guy to us, we want to have fun with him. The small amount of female villains said, looking at me with hungry eyes. One of the villains is manipulating the water to form a hand. Also I notice the emergency drain lever on the side. I smirk. I walk up to the edge of the boat, while holding a vial of white stuff. If you wanted to have fun, why didn't you go to the circus? Opening it as I drop it into the water. A slight pulse of greenish-pink energy surrounds the villain. What the hell? That villain said as I use his quirk and body to activate the drain lever. Grabbing both Tsuyu and Mina, I fly up as the villains are pulled into the drain. So you can control people? Mina shouted in my ear. Yes, I can. My only limit is energy and it being organic. I state, with them both giving me shocked looks, landing on the side of what would be the beach. Looking to the central plaza, we watch in shock as our teacher is defeating mass amounts of villains solo. You got to admit that our sleep-deprived teacher is still a pro hero. Ribbit? No kidding. He's awesome, why haven't I ever heard of him? Mina questioned. He's an underground hero. He does a hero's job that other heroes refuse to do because it isn't popular. Anyway, let's go to the conflagration zone. 13 is there. Both of them nod in agreement. Hope you're safe, Momo. Momo's POV, falling to the ground, alongside with Jiro and Kaminari. Villains walking towards us. I quickly create a bow staff and a katana for Jiro as we both enter a stance to fight. Momo can make me a weapon, anything. Kaminari questioned, having no form. Passing him 2 silver knuckle dusters. Thanks. Sending sparks through them. No problem, here they come. I stated as we all begin to fight, starting off strong until we slowly became overwhelmed. Pulling Jiro closer to me, I create an insulating blanket to surround us. Kaminari. Not need to say it twice, he released a huge voltage of electricity, seemingly frying the villains. Good work, Kaminari. I said, recreating my leotard. Not so fast. One of the villains said, grabbing Kaminari's head, as the fried villains begin to rise. I don't like killing fellow electric quirk users, however I'll make an exception if you don't surrender. As he begins to arc electricity around his hand. Do it, why should I care for perverts? Jiro said, surprising most of the villains. Or are you a beach that falls on his promises? That's it. As the villain surges energy into him, Kaminari revitalizes himself and sends the excess to the knuckle dusters. What? As Kaminari rips his hand off, pulls off a uppercut, knocking him out. Try hutting someone made out of RBB Lightning Boy. Another villain said, jumping behind him, a sword just about to slash. No, I launch forward at the villain, dropping the bow staff as I clench my fist. A surge of energy flows into my arm, aiming directly at the villain's chest. Smamamayish. A giant wind current staggers all the villains, as well sending the RBB villain into the mountainside. Ha 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 ha. I scream from my broken arm, while collapsing to the ground. Jiro taking the opportunity to wrap the both of us with the same insulating blanket. Kaminari, again. He complies, this time frying all the villains. Momo, are you alright? Did you know this would happen? I shake my head, barely keeping a straight face. Let's get you out of here. Izuku's POV at the entrance of conflagration zone. A noticeable wind pressure emits. Where did this wind come from? Mina commented. I stated, looking at the mountain zone. I thought it was All Might, but he's not here. Ribbit, Tsuyu pondered, whilst opening the door for the conflagration zone. Walking towards the door, Ojiro, Siro and Sato with an injured 13 on his back. Oh God, what happened to 13? Mina shouted as I jog over to her. This 𝐶𝐮𝐻𝐸 caused this. Ojiro shouted as he begins to attack me. Uncaringly, I dodge the attacks as I make it up to 13. If you think that I'll allow you to our teacher villain, you're dead wrong. Taking a swing at me that'll hit the teacher if I dodge, forcing me to do the next logical thing. Transforming my wings into tentacles, as they wrap around every joint in his body. And his mouth. He gets annoying. In the time when you should be thinking logically, you are doing the opposite. 13 is injured and possibly needing medical attention, so shut it while I'm working. I stated as I begin my analysis on her injuries. Concussion, second-degree burns, few fractured bones, and she swallowed the broken-off tooth. Touching her, a small pulse flows throughout the patient as she heals. Can't do anything for the concussion, but everything else is healed up. We just need to wait for her to wake up. Midoriya. A voice shouted as I turn around to see Jiro holding Momo, who has a broken arm. I rush to Momo, dropping Ojiro in the process. Instantly going to heal her. You still trust him, after literally caused all of us to be sent across the USJ that is full of villains. Ojiro being said beyond belief. Dude, calm down. He literally got Ida out of the USJ before the villains notice. Pro heroes should be here at any moment. Denki sluggishly walks up. I think I might prefer frying my brain over this bitch. As he rubs his body. Finishing the repairs on Momo's arm, I tapped Denki's body as all the sluggish movements. The more you move and feel, the less sluggish you become. Remember that. I stated as he begins to jump around. A black portal opens up above us as Iida falls out. You should have kept quiet about that, your classmate heroes. Kurohige trying his hardest to hide his laugh, leaving us. Iida, what happened? 𝐶𝐮𝐻 questioned. I froze at the door. Looking down at his hands, disgusted at his own failure. I walk up to him, grabbing him by the shoulder and chin to make him look me in the eyes. Stop it. Yes, you froze. Most people would in that situation. Nothing you can about it now. Accept it, move on, learn from it. Slightly shaking him back to reality, turning back to the rest. Let's support the rest of the class. Mina, Tsu and Denki. I need you to go to the downpour zone and help Tokoyami, Shoji and Koda. Jiro, Siro and Ojiro. Stay with 13 and inform her of the situation when she awakes. I was explaining the best plan ever, as Ojiro cuts me off. Why do that? Shouldn't we all go help Aizawa-sensei? He clearly doesn't like following my plan. That's what the rest of us are doing. Momo joining in on the plan. If I'm correct in saying Todoroki and Bakugo are in the two last zones, then that means both Kirishima, Uraraka, Aoyama, Hagakure, Todoroki and Bakugo will be heading to the center plaza. Izuku, Sato and myself will join up and assist Sensei. Yep, besides Aoyama. If I'm sensing correctly, he is knocked out in the mountain zone. Everyone is slightly shocked. Oddly, no one is near him, like he was attacked by a AoE attack. Momo and Jiro looks to Denki, who simply shrugs. One issue to that plan, it's about Momo and her arm. The new ability showed up and gave her superhuman strength but clearly does not know how to use it. Jiro worryingly looked at her. Let's fix that quickly. Walking up and grab the arm that I just fixed. Try and replicate that feeling. Complying to my instructions, her arm begins to glow as rainbow-colored sparkle emit off of her. I give a slight smile. Good, it's energy-based. Momo, focus on it feeling weaker, till the point where it doesn't have that burning feeling. Nodding, she slowly drops the energy to 1/100th of its power. Momo, you're doing great. Here comes the tricky part, move that feeling here. Using my other hand and placing it on the center of her chest, as her breathing becomes slightly irregular. The glow disappears from her arm, while a new forms under my hand. She's trying her hardest to keep that energy there. No need to hold back, Momo, allow it to flow through you. Moving back slightly to watch the energy flow throughout her body, muttering under my breath. She looks like an angel, so perfect. And yet, I'm a demon, a devil, a monster. I was caught off guard as Momo instantly makes a staff and whacks me in the face. Before questioning why that happened, she pulls me into a kiss, wrapping her arms around me. You're not a demon or a devil or a monster. If anything, you are a god sent. Momo spoke smiling, while I pull her into a hug. Come on, this isn't the time nor the place. We both look to our classmates who are watching this all go down. Fine then, but I'll make sure we continue this later. Pulling away from her. Now let's help out Aizawa. Izuku's POV rushing into the plaza, Sato, Momo and I watch the literal battlefield happening in front of us. Todoroki all the remaining villains by freezing them, however this has a lot of fire and ice-based quirks which is creating difficulty for him. Kirishima has the warp villain to the ground, with Bakugo's gauntlet pointed straight at him. Bakugo is fighting handy villain by using explosions to keep him at bay, while somehow the villain decays the explosion so that it does no damage. Hagakure and Uraraka are pulling a injured Aizawa to the stairway, while villains are running towards them and catching up and the bioengineered creature floating high in the sky. Izuku. Moving my hands to the side as she grabs my hands. At that I launch her towards the villains that are running after Aizawa. In a blink of an eye Momo pulverized them as Uraraka being unable to maintain the effect, releasing the bioengineered villain from the sky. Sato and Iida, is it funny how I forgot about him in the planning, help Todoroki with the fire and ice quirk villains. He nods as I spread my wings and fly up to counter the creature. Hey, Look, a idiot in your class is tempting to challenge the anti-symbol of peace. Nomu, kill that brat. Handy villain commanded, with the Nomu punching me straight in the face. My body goes slightly limp, not from the damage but from my mind being flooded for cries and pleads. Please help. We don't want to kill. Why did I have to become a thug? My eyes opening with an overload amount of pure determination, instantly recorrecting my trajectory as I launching myself at the bioengineered victim. Repeating a similar attack, I dodge and grip on the beak. Don't worry, I can hear you. Pulsating my energy into him, allowing them to realize I was talking to them. For the time being, I'll need you to sleep. With the best of my abilities, I'll rebuild you into someone you longing. Placing them onto the ground to allow them to sleep. That was supposed to kill All Might. You cheater! The handy villain screeched as I rush over to the warp villain. A loud thudding sound echoes through plaza, as All Might is standing on top of the stairs. The warp villain uses this distraction to warp itself away and next to the handy villain. Tamura Shigaraki. We must leave, the plan has failed. Shigaraki tchs as both of them walks into the portal. Turning to Nomu, I see it slowly being taken by the portal. I shouted, reaching out for them. I promised. I won't break my promise. I howled in my mind, as sharp black tendrils launches out of from my fingertips. Grabbing the body and pulling it out, almost doing it without interruption as another pair stab into him coming from the portal. A single blink, as I enter the Nomu's mindscape. Behind me are all the people who are forced into this body, with the one who trying to stop me facing in front of me. I won't allow you to do what you want with them. You have no say in this, boy. I'm taking back what belongs to me. As he attacks with his tendrils, as I replicate the process with him slowly gaining the advantage. Your quirk seems powerful, maybe I should take that as well. I look behind me to see a little girl scared and afraid looking at that man. Please, not if. Please, not him. A newfound energy swells within me, looking back at the badly damaged face that I now know as Ifo. Pulsating ounce of energy that I have access to, I create a pulse of pure energy. Destroying all the tendrils and launching him out, I gain all the information that I understand about that villain's medical condition. Shocking me to the core, pulling the body out of the way of the portal as it closes. All Might's POV running into the USJ, I look down to see villains and my students fighting, with young Yaoyorozu defending the group that is pulling a badly injured Aizawa. Before I could act, the villain that was in young Kirishima's grip teleports next to a villain covered in hands and porting out of here. Looking over to young Midoriya, I see him turn to a bird-like monstrosity as the same portal opens underneath it. At that he sends out black tendrils with cracks of pinkish-green energy flowing through it, towards the it pulling it away. Why does that look like AFO's quirk? I question, as a similar pair stretch out of the portal that pulsate with red energy stabbing into the creature. A struggle of power between the two as pink sparks of energy hit Midoriya's tendrils, with a pulse of energy from him as AFO's tendrils break away. AFO lost in a battle of power against young Midoriya. Maybe he was able to absorb energy from AFO to use against him. Watching the creature hit the ground as Midoriya collapses. Breaking out of me stupor, I send an emergency signal to UA as I completely crush the rest of the villains. Moments later, all the students are standing in the plaza, with all the villains tied up to the side along with the monster. Both Aizawa, Aoyama and Midoriya lay on the opposite side. 13, do you know what happened? I asked. Deku began speaking with the Fing enemy. Young Bakugo shouted before 13 could say anything. 5 others shaking their heads agreeance. That was a better decision than letting you and Kirishima to rush the villain. 13 states, shutting them up. Also he distracted the villain to allow blue-haired boy to get help, which by the way, why are you here? Turning to young Ida. I froze at the door entrance, and Denki told them I was outside by mistake. He said looking down at himself. I failed as the vice rep of this class. Young Ida, this is the first time you faced actual villains. Learn from this, and ensure this doesn't happen again. Your fellow peers need a leader that they can trust. I stated as he nods in understanding. Now next question, why did young Midoriya help that? Help me. The creature barely formed a proper sentence. It can speak. Izuku's POV while energy flows through me, a warm pillow-like object laying on top of me. Being in a sleepy state, and the pillow smelling delicious, I nuzzle deeper into the pillow. Wrapping both my arms around it, one going up and finding a more squishy protrusion. Why would someone make a pillow with only this material in this one area? Kneading the object as my other hand feeling the object and the texture, rubbing my hand up and down looking the seams of the pillow. This pillow must expensive, the material is made of leather that seems familiar. Wait, it can't be a pillow, pillows don't smell this good. Maybe it's food. At that I begin to nibble, sking and liking the object. With the hand kneading the squishy thing, it finds another protrusion on it. Smaller yet extremely harder than what's it on, I slowly open my eyes as I twist and pull at it. Wait, I'm getting energy from this object, what is it? It's midnight. I watch as Midnight get absolutely hammered by a sec machine, using me as a backrest while her arms and legs are chained up to her sides. Pulling at her NPL was the last straw as she explodes into a massive orgasm, all while she arches and quakes with her face looking like it is broken from lust. Turning off the machine and removing the bench, I look down onto the broken Midnight. She is completely covered in sweat and her quirk, becoming extremely concentrated to the point where it is becoming solid. Keep a note of that structure for later. Her face is sending opposite signals, smiling as her tongue is still sticking out with absolutely destroyed makeup, from the still running tears coming out of her open eyes while she sleeps. Sighing, I pull a blanket over her and close her eyes, putting on my clothes, which is still my hero suit. I walk outside with a flood of pink mist joining me. I closed the door and activated the fans, absorbing all the mist that joined me in the L section of Midnight's office. Swapping the sign to unavailable, I leave the office to see Momo still in her costume standing there waiting for me. How long have you been standing there for? I questioned. Just over an hour. She nonchalantly stated as she continues. Anyway, we need to head to Ned's office. It's about the creature you're saving and any information that you might have. She begins walking as I begin to recall everything that happened. Is something wrong? Turning back to my still body. Why yeah, I just started to remember what happened. As I walk over to her, picking her up bridal style. Now let's go. She blushes slightly as she accepts her fate, pulling herself into a hug as she falls asleep. Oops, forgot Midnight's sleeping gas would be on me. Now in front of Ned's office, using my tail I knock on the door. Come in. The bioengineered announced as I walk in. All Might, Nedzu and a detective are sitting on the couches. What happened to young Yaoyorozu? All Might questioned. She's alright. She only got a whiff of Midnight's sleeping gas that was left on me. All Might swaps to the couch Nedzu is on so that he won't be affected by it, with Nedzu simply chuckling at both Midnight and All Might. Laying Momo down with her feet on me as I sit. Now on to business. Oh, this is Detective Naomasa, a friend of All Might and already knows about OFA. Rubbing his paws together, giving whiplash to the detective. What information do you have on what the villain's called, Nomo? Bioengineered creature that is based off a genetically altered human and fused with other people's quirks. I stated, making All Might flinch in shock and Nedzu with rage. The Nomu has the original quirk for the body being shock absorption, and another quirk that is a fusion of multiple of the same type of quirk making a super regeneration. Those two allow the minimum intelligence for the original creature. Shock absorption takes the brunt of the damage as the regeneration heals and removes the built-up energy. I slightly manipulated with the creature to allow it to speak, but that's about it. Do you have any idea who made them? Momo questioned as stretches herself awake. Yes, I bluntly stated as all three of them freeze. Why does that name sound familiar? Momo pondered. You heard it in your mind. I can enter into the mindscape of OFA. That name popped up from the original user talking to me. The detective face changes to one of shock. I didn't tell you, because I was waiting to meet with All Might before school. And he was late. All Might shrinks a bit. Are you positive that it's AFO? Also, what did the first user tell you about him? 𝐻𝐿 taking the lead for All Might. One of the vestiges within the Nomu called him that. As for the first user, he compared my powers and abilities to his. I didn't know what he meant at the time, but now I do. I answered looking down at my hands. He said I have equal and greater potential than him. I also know how that's possible too. How? Momo questioned, whilst grabbing the hand I was looking at. With the remaining bit of energy I had, I used it to gain his medical condition. It told me how badly injured he is from fighting All Might, which besides breathing and seeing problems is only cosmetic damage and age. At that, All Might looks annoyed. The other bit of information I got was his genetic structure, and it shows. Taking a few deep breaths not to break down. 𝐿 is my father. Izuku's POV, 𝐿 is my father. I exclaimed as I lay my head on the backrest. All the adults start tensing up a little. Who is AFO anyways? No one explained that to me. Momo questioned, still holding my hands. 𝐿 is the opposite of OFA, being able to take quirks away from others. As well, the #1 villain in Japan. All Might said, internally panicking to this prospect. Your mum couldn't do better. Momo stated, shocking everyone. You're not him, and he isn't you. You can have your family reunion when he's behind bars. I slightly smile at that. You're correct, Miss Yaoyorozu. 𝐻𝐿 stated with his normal happy expression. This school treats students by their performance academically and actions that the student does, not the actions of the parents of said students. Also, you will work on your promise with the Nomu after the possible internships, so please focus on your studies for the meantime. Refocusing me on the tasks that are set before me. There is one thing that I wanted to ask. What studies have you been giving him besides normal schoolwork? Momo questioned as both the adults look at him. Simply all the requirements he will need, being a pro hero to replace Recovery Girl. 𝐻𝐿 stated while he takes a sip of tea. Recovery Girl is a fully credited doctor in every medical field. Naomasa pondered out loud. Exactly. I look mentally tired. Then add licensed SEC therapist on top of that. 𝐻𝐿 nods at his craftsmanship. Well, now that's out of the way, your class has a week off of school work due to the villain attack. We will see you too when you return. The devil incarnate informed us while we leave the office. I was wrong. I'm not the devil, he is. I shiver in fear. After the week break that wasn't a break for me, our class returns back to school. Separated in groups, this time all the girls besides Uraraka are talking together in their own group. I'm still alone, but by choice, as I'm reading the laws and regulations, SEC therapist must get everyone correct in the test. Hey guys, who do you think will be teaching us? Mina questioned. Aizawa-sensei. I blandly claimed, not giving it a second thought. It would be foolish for him to do that. Todoroki countered. No, leaving a sub to control this class is foolish. As long as he doesn't do anything strenuous, he should be fine. I counter his counter. At that, Aizawa mummy walks in. Everyone shut it, I'm not in a good mood. He stated, clearly in a mood. Taking his position at the podium, he continued. Your battle isn't over just yet. The class begins to tense up, while I turn a page. The sports festival is coming up in a week's time. It'll be one of 3 opportunities you get to show possible pro heroes what you're made of. Everyone sighs to this response. Besides that, class dismissed. As he enters his sleeping bag without using his hands. All right everyone, let's do your best. Uraraka shouted, pumping her hand up. Deku, reading books won't make you win the sports festival. Like Aizawa stated, 1 in 3. I have 2 more chances after this, so I should focus on the test that I have the day after the sports festival. Not bothering to add any form of emotion into my words. I'm so tired. Then sleep bro, you need all the energy you can get. Denki stated, trying to help with his advice. For me, sleep equals brink of death. The only energy I run off on is lust, remember. Also, this is mental tiredness, not physical, like Aizawa over there. He isn't actually sleeping, he just mental drained. Basing off their faces, they are all thinking something on the lines of, another Aizawa. Wait, there's a test coming up. Mina began freaking out. He just has exams that Principal Nezu has booked for him. Momo reassured Mina, as Aizawa's eyes dart open. Why did you make a deal with the devil of UA? Sensei questioned, catching everyone's attention. Would you rather listen to All Might talking your ear out for what could be an hour? I answered, while he nods in understanding. All Might isn't that bad, right? Kirishima questions. I already have to deal with a loud blonde in my life. I don't need another. Both myself and Aizawa said in unison, as I point to Katsuki. Everyone nods in realization. Grabbing my stuff, I go to the door and open it to show a group of students waiting there. Nope. I stated, walking over to the window and jump out. F the city, I'm out dash. Denki begins to sing that meme until Jiro fries his brains. And that's why no girl wants to date you. Izuku's POV, the calm before the storm, that's what the sports festival is for me. Clearing my head of the pending doom that awaits me, I focus on my classmates calming themselves. Everyone's separating themselves around the room, quietly planning their strategies to win this. Todoroki is the first one to break this by walking up to Momo. Yaoyorozu. The reserved boy called out. The power you showed at the U reminded me of All Might's, therefore I respect the power you hold. He stated with the air of a but coming up. However, I'll be the one who'll win the sports festival. What the hell are you talking about, half and half BSTRD? If anyone is going to win this, it'll be me. The loud Pomeranian screeched as he takes his usual battle stance. Now children. You can fight in the area, when it's time. As I stand in between them. Did you just call me a child? You mother F. Bakugo howled. Oh, Mitsuki finally told you. That's nice. With a SHT-eating grin on my face, as Katsuki prepares himself to kill me. Can Class 1A please make their way to the stadium? Present Mike announced, as Bakugo simply TCHs as everyone begins to take their leave. Did you actually fed Bakugo's mum? Jiro whispered to me. No, but I did lighten the workload for her so that she can get railed her husband. It's kind of sad that Bakugo doesn't take up on his father's side, then he wouldn't be overcompensating. I answered, as Jiro, Shoji and Hagakure, who was in between us, barely containing their laughter. The next class to walk out is 1B, with a man who has way too much iron in his body to accidental leading the march. Hey Midoriya. Minoma politely called out, surprising me. Minoma, a loud blonde who changed his ways. I humbly stated whilst giving a bow. So you're the one who we should thank for saving us from ERRP. A green girl practically jumped over to me. Hope I can have fun playing with you. She began licking her lips. Trust me. You have no idea. A stuck smirk forming as both the classes fear the outcome of this. Oh, I'll like you to meet main girl Momo. If you dare hurt her feelings, I'll personally send you to hell. I pull Momo into a warming hug as I release a deadly aurora with my wings surrounding her. Goody, 2 for 1. This is going to be awesome. Also, my name's Setsuna Tokichi. She announced whilst holding out her hand. Izuku Midoriya, and I can tell this is going to be a wonderful friendship. I shake her hand as Momo looks at the girls of our class, with them making X sign for help. I position my lips next to Momo's ear and spoke. If you ever feel uncomfortable by what I'm doing, then you always have the power to say no. Everyone has boundaries, and being with me will always test them. As she rests her head on my shoulder. We didn't realize that the rest of the classes walked onto the field, that is until Present Mike began screaming. All righty listeners. Now let's give a huge welcome to the sexist heroine in 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐽𝐻. A lawsuit is in your future if you kept that up. Aizawa destroying the mood as Midnight rays from the ground, completely destroying the mood in her own way. Mostly every guy and some ladies whistle for her. Before we get started, can the year representative, Izuku Midoriya, please address the festival? Midnight called out as I uncoil myself from Momo, flying to the stage instead of taking the stairs. Murmurs flood the Coliseum just from the name Midoriya. The majority of the murmurs are coming from females, not the males. Oh, that's right, Mum has a 97% female fan base worldwide. Ladies, gentlemen, and every appealing being in between. I'm here today, not to make an egotistical remark or stating possible outcomes as the absolute results of the festival. I will say that this year is full of monsters that are brimming full of potential to take the world by storm. So, sit back and enjoy the show. Finishing the speech with a stuck tone, sending shivers of excitement down the spine of every female across the country. Massive cheering and whistle at me, as the guys simply clap in confusion. Whatever Midoriya did seemed to get the full support of the female population. Present Mike commentated. Like mother, like son. Aizawa said, opening a yogurt pouch. The excitement coming off the ladies triple after hearing this. Minoru Mineta's POV walking down the street, wearing baggy clothes and red eyes. All my hopes and dreams destroyed by that one person. Turning my head to the public display of TVs, I watch Midoriya address the world, gaining the affection of every female there. DMNU Midoriya. I could have had that glory. I could have followed my dream of having a 𝐻𝐻. But when UA kicked me out because of your stunt, no other hero course would accept me. No matter what, I'll find a way to make my dream a reality. I walk down Ally Way, as a portal guy warps in. Yellow piercing eyes look directly at me. WTF do wanth. Trying to hide my fear with alpha energy, only for it to fall flat due to my speech impediment. Minoru Mineta. My MSTR wishes to give you an offer, one that'll allow you to gain the opportunity for your dreams. The portal guy said, tempting me deeply. If you want to learn more, please walk through this portal. A portal opens next to me, as the feeling of excitement floods into me. The path to my dreams. This is better than nothing. As I walk through Izuku's POV, after teasing the female population, we waited 10 more minutes before midnight could begin doing the events. Now that's all out of the way, let's continue with the first advent. As she WHPS to the screen, beginning the randomizer. The first event is the 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐭 race. Present Mike announced. Midoriya, how much does it cost to make him mute? Aizawa questioned, which slightly freaks out Mike. For you to go to an actual therapist and get your emotional trauma fixed. I shouted back. It's cheaper to wear earplugs then. Aizawa stated whilst putting on earplugs. The rules are simple. You must go through the course, whilst facing any threat that the principal has designed on the field. Midnight informed as I hear the 𝐻𝐻𝐸 cackling in the VIP section. With that all out of the way, please line yourselves up at that exit. Pointing the opening. Okay, running like a normal person would waste more energy than flying at insanely fast speeds. Not knowing what the principal would do, I should wait till Present Mike announces it for me. That'll leave me 1.5 to 2 minutes to reach first place. I thought as I sit at the back of everyone, while beginning to meditate. Momo's POV preparing myself to run, I turn my head over to Izuku. Is he meditating right now? I hope he knows what he's doing. Then again, he did infer that he rather skip this year for his test. Taking a deep breath in, I turn my head to the entrance. Okay. Todoroki will most likely freeze the ground to give him a head start, meaning that I should stay off the ground in the beginning of the race. I should be able to use 5% of OFA now. Following Izuku's training regime for me was far superior than All Might's. Also, I need to thank Recovery Girl and Principal 𝐻𝐻𝐸𝐫 for helping me choose which one I should do. Go! Midnight announced, with everyone rushes in. I begin jumping wall to wall as I manage to escape the pushing and shoving, leaping out right before Todoroki freezes the entrance. Looky here, folks. Out of the tunnel in first is Shoto Todoroki and Momo Yaoyorozu. If I remember correctly, these two both got into UA with recommendations. Present Mike announced. Aizawa. Why is Izuku Midoriya napping on the ground? He is one of my students. Also, he is doing extra work with Principal 𝐻𝐻𝐸𝐫, with an exam for one of the things he learning is happening tomorrow. Aizawa bluntly informed, sending chills down the spine of anyone who had to deal with the principal before. 2 things he can do. One of them is not to compete this year and wait for the next. And what's the last one? Mike wanting to know the tea. See and find out. 𝐒𝐮𝐦𝐸𝐴 can be heard through the microphone. Well now, let's focus on something we do know then. All of Class 1A have evaded Todoroki's trap. 𝐀𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐨𝐫𝐭 leading the charge against Todoroki's and Yaoyorozu's lead. They might actually manage that with the first obstacle. The Robo Inferno. He announced as robots come rushing towards both Todoroki and myself. Both of us quickly dispatch them, as 3 skyscraper-size robots come rolling towards us. Todoroki freezing them. I create a small EMP device of the size of a hand grenade, tossing it into the air as it activation fries all the robots in the area. Sorry for any static folks. Yaoyorozu used what seems to be EMP, frying all the robots. What is this girl's quirk? Erase her head, do you know? Present Mike trying to wrap his head around my abilities. Long story short, an incident with Izuku Midoriya's quirk reacting to her original quirk creation, making it so that she has practically multiple quirks awakening within her. Aizawa stated, all while everyone goes silent. Principal 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐸𝐽 is doing research on how this was possible, so that he can either stop this from getting out of control or replicate the process for further scientific research. What type of quirk would react to cause that to happen? Let's look here. Izuku Midoriya's file. Quirk, lustful modification. The ability to manipulate any and all organic material, as long as he understands it and that his genetic material is touching. Example, can turn you complete ball with a single touch. Present Mike. So stop telling the world his private information unless you want that happen to you. Now that's rude. This lightens the mood. Returning back to the race. First place is still in a standstill, as last place still hasn't bothered to move. The contestants are now up to the second last obstacle. The pit. If any student falls into the pit, they are disqualified. Todoroki using his ice to skate on the tight ropes. I use my experience of gymnastics that my parents put me in when I was young to maintain pace with Todoroki. Sorry Bakugo. You can't get rid of this extra. A girl with orange hair flies up to Bakugo using a similar method as him but with fire hands. Seriously. I have to deal with Deku, and now another extra from Aldra Jr. High Dash. Bakugo was interrupted by anti-air weapons, loaded with electric rounds as Bakugo lands on one of the pillars after being shot. Looky here folks. Principal 𝐒𝐻𝐸𝐽 has placed anti-air turrets around the pit only. Also, who was the girl that spoke with Bakugo? Present Mike questioned as Aizawa looks for her file. Her name is Tamaki Atsuko, Class 1C. She went to the same junior high Bakugo and Midoriya went to. Originally entered for the hero course but failed. Clearly she analyzed what she did wrong and trained to try and claim the empty seat in my class. I can tell she's a clever little listener. She has gone below the tightropes and the anti-air turrets have stopped targeting her. Present Mike announced. Wait folks, there is massive news. Izuku Midoriya has launched at insane speeds into the race. What caused his chain in advance? You just informed him everything he needs to know to come first place. He predicted that 𝐒𝐻𝐸𝐽 would add anti-air turrets, and he just needed you to confirm where and how to counter them. Aizawa informed, making people surprised at Izuku's intelligence. He may seem at times lazy, but really he is one of the hardest workers in the year. He is being taught by Principal 𝐒𝐻𝐸𝐽 in every medical field in the world, to become his generation's version of Recovery Girl by the end of his last year in UA. That would be a reality. The first place strugglers Shoto Todoroki and Yaoyorozu have just made it to the last obstacle. The minefield. In a battle of third place it's Katsuki Bakugo and Tamaki Atsuko, with Midoriya right behind, completely past the two. Midoriya is flying so close to the mines that they are exploding right behind them. Mike announced as both me and Todoroki look back at Izuku flying at high speeds at us, Todoroki creating a thick ice wall blocking him. That won't stop him, but it will slow him down for me to do this. A metal wire lasso, timing it just right. I throw and hook onto Izuku as he pulls me into victory. Look at this turn of advents. Izuku Midoriya has taken first place as Momo Yaoyorozu claims second by lassoing Midoriya when he's slowed down by Shoto Todoroki's ice wall. Midoriya pulls me through the finish line, and slowing the both of us down by moving in front of me and pulls me into a hug as he digs his heels into the ground. Us barely crashing into Midnight's podium. Looky here. The lovebirds of Class 1A have crashed in. Midnight teased as both of us use each other to cover our blushing faces. Who knew a Midoriya can look so cute embarrassed? / I want to eat that cinnamon roll. It's too cute. / honey stop you are dating me.